While entering a deep dark cave, these brave souls nearly left their skeletons behind. Good gravy, what is that? You can see the creature momentarily as they enter. But for some reason, this encounter doesn't send them running for the hills. And then, not long after, this happens. That hissing is somehow more terrifying than a deafening roar, and the figure's features are equally horrifying. The fact that they didn't leave on the first sighting of the creature makes me think this is fake, but as we only caught a glimpse on camera, maybe they just didn't see him in the darkness. If it is acted, then it's an incredible fake. A paranormal investigator named Paravent posted this video of their daughter, who they think may have attracted a spirit of her own. She raises the camera to show nobody is in there, and the corner is indeed empty, but when she thinks it's over, the spirit lets her get through just a little more of the song, and then moves the chair again. The chair isn't fully visible, so it could be staged because anybody could have moved it at the bottom, but when I first saw this, I thought it kind of looked like someone was pulling up a chair to hear her play, and that was before I read the many different comments saying the same thing. So is this fake, or really someone watching from the other side? Two ghost hunters from a UK channel called Paranormal Hauntings go exploring an abandoned building called the Ye Old Harrow Inn, a place well known for paranormal activity. Investigating the front desk leads to this moment of spooky tranquility.
Just gonna turn that off. A minute.
Their camera has caught an abundance of orbs in this area. In this area alone, including one extra bright orb that outshines the rest, a spirit they claim. Dust covers everything they've been exploring in this abandoned place, so maybe that was it. The ghost hunters unpack their equipment and capture some rather scary EVPs on video. Something in the next room over speaks to them from the darkness.
That looks creepy. I can see her. Are you down the corridor?
A woman whispers to take her hand. Apparently, she's sitting in the doorway, watching, and maybe even reaching out for them. YouTuber John the Paranormal Guy ranked the top 5 most haunted locations he's investigated in 2021. Among them was the Springville Plantation House in Alabama. Here's what they encountered there. Listen closely.
Was that you? No.
Was that you?
Hey, can you come down here?
The unexplained scream sent chills down my spine. Listen again.
With us?
What was that? I can definitely hear a scream in the background, but it's not clear where it's coming from. Is it human or paranormal? I think we'd have to dig deeper to find out. This video is the launching point of one wild ride. Posted to the Ring subreddit, Midship92 explains that his neighbor messaged asking him to check on his wife who was home alone because someone was trying to get inside. After going to check and finding no one, this friendly neighbor went back home, only to find this Ring video footage had been sent to him. The clip shows what the man just missed, a shirtless creep crawling up the front steps of the home, hiding his face away before trying the door in an attempt to break in. The man then lets himself down the steps and walks off. The Redditor adds in the comments, after doing this to several houses and evading police, he was finally caught. Finding the man was quite an ordeal. The Redditor elaborates further, explaining that during the police search, the suspect kept disappearing only to be seen again minutes later, after trying to catch the guy for nearly an hour, only for him to vanish into thin air. The police abandoned the search. Left to his own devices, the man again tried to get in through another neighbor's back door, but the Redditor saw him from his deck. He chased the man into another neighbor's crawl space and stood guard there until the police returned. Thankfully, the wild goose chase led to the wild goose being caught. In this scary video, Exploring with Josh explores the historic RRS Discovery, one of the most haunted ships in Britain. The team invites the spirits to speak, and they do in their own way.
You can talk to us here now.
That is creepy.
I swear to God there's someone walking around in there. I just saw a shadow. Bro.
Are you serious?
Bro, put the light on it.
Well, that is the
No,
most
put the light on it.
Well, that is the
There's
most haunted
something
room.
inside there, I'm telling you now. Oh my
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw a shadow playing there.
I believe you, bro.
They continue to communicate with this spirit.
That device, could you please walk out of your room so we know you're gone? Oh my God! Oh my God!
That's
Oh my God!
You can't that up.
When they go and collect a recording device from that room, they hear the spirit's response to some of their questions.
It is the crew. It is the crew. It is the crew. Hang on.
It is the crew.
You can't.
As the presence intensifies, they hear footsteps.
You got it? And now, yeah. And that was after I heard the bed moving, bro. I'm telling you, there's somebody in this room with me.
Right, we're coming back towards your room, Captain. Can you set something off while we're sort of stood together?
No, it's not me. I'm right here. Where did it come from? I have no idea. I don't know. It's like a dash run. That went through there.
Was that the captain again? With all of this paranormal evidence, I have to believe that the RRS Discovery still carries an immortal crew, but they are probably as cold as Antarctica. A YouTuber named Bria Studolo says that she installed a security camera, specifically due to this problem neighbor. The man walks up to her home and, according to Brie, starts watching her through the window. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I do think it's strange that he stands on her front door for over half a minute without knocking. According to Brie, he makes eye contact with her through the window and then begins frantically knocking to cover up his actions. He says he needs to use her backyard to get to a breaker box that they share. The only thing is that there is an easier route to take to the breaker box that's not through her backyard in the dark, so this could just be a made-up excuse. She claims that he has taken pictures of her through the window before, and I do find it weird that he takes his phone out moments before he is discovered. Based on this video, let me know what you make of this situation, and how much danger you think Brie was actually in. A TikToker named Heck Aiden is dancing in her room with the door closed when it somehow pushes open by itself and no one steps in. Like I said, the door looks fully closed and there's no visible gaps in the doorway to indicate that it was partially left open as part of a skit. The doorknob doesn't seem to turn either, so as far as I'm concerned, there should be no way for it to open like that. Heck Aiden tries to play it off and finishes her video, but the more she reflects on it, the more she seems convinced that this was a ghost after all. A Facebook user named Andrea Collins believes one of her security cameras caught a ghost late in the afternoon on March 22nd of this year. And after taking a look at the evidence for myself, I think she's right. Ordinarily, I would say that this is a bug crawling across the camera, except in this case, it looks like a little ghost girl girl with a white dress and long black hair. It's also positioned perfectly in the middle of the screen, exactly where a human would stand. So my bet is that this is an apparition seeking help, or at least some attention. And if this is what Andrea sees in her yard, then chances are her house is haunted too. Do you have the common care to tame a snake? This shocking footage will make you question your own bravery. The video shows a man grabbing a thick snake with his bare hands. The snake looks around 10 feet long and arches toward the man when he pulls back. As the snake appears to be aggressive, the man holds up one arm. He is apparently trying to grab a hold of the snake close to its head, which he manages to do upon his second attempt. He takes the snake with both hands in a tight grip as it opens its mouth wide, baring its fangs. Then, as if with no care in the world, the man walks the snake over to some other workers, who pick up its tail and are taking photos with the beast. The footage ends there, but judging by this man's professionalism, I think we can safely guess the snake was properly removed to a more secure location. A team of cryptid hunters make a wild discovery deep in the woods of North Carolina. In the Uwharrie National Forest is where they find a mysterious imprint that extends 13 inches long. They think this is not a footprint but a handprint, with oversized knuckles at one end and a wide base of the palm at the other.
Hey guys, I'll show you what we just found. We got us a 13-inch tracker, just a little over. We sure did. We got toe prints. We got the break in the middle. Right here. Yes, sir.
I kind of see what they mean, but I'm not sure if this is from a cryptid or not. It kind of looks like where a rock could have been or something. I'm also wondering why there aren't any prints to accompany this alleged handprint, but at the same time, I don't have a solid explanation for what caused this, and was wondering what you think about this extra creepy sighting in the woods.
Well guys, so far we've found what looks like to be either a handprint or knuckle prints again. And we just come across this track right here, so. That's awesome. That is awesome.
Do shadows have a life of their own? Posted to the r/ghosts subreddit. Before ever unknown 54's friend captured this strange anomaly on a home security camera. The footage, taken on January 21st, 2022 at around 11 p.m. shows a strange shadow shift in the kitchen with no known source casting its movement. According to the Redditor, there is no window or skylight in the area. The light source you see on the video is from the kitchen light overhead. This is what the kitchen looks like in the daytime. The Redditor writes, "The way the shadow seems to float from above the countertop to the ground is just very strange to me." Some in the comments think a cabinet either fell open or shut, but the Redditor notes that, combined with other unexplained events in the home, this seems suspicious. She writes, "They've had various things happen over time. There's been orbs, stuff falling over walls, animals reacting to the noises or visuals, etc. Is this just part of the same paranormal trend? The evidence does seem to be mounting." EVPs were captured through a live radio during a live stream by YouTube team Ghost Adventures of Cornwall, and these things are eerie.
See, who's that laughing? Who are you? I'm laughing again. Who are you?
First the word heaven is heard, then the laughter. A moment later it says the words proper demon.
Was that you? Proper demon? What?
But here's where it gets truly creepy.
Yeah.
The skin. The nails.
Skin and the nails? What?
Skin and nails? Does this demon of Cornwall want your skin and nails? I think it does, and it might be taking your soul with them. Down outside your house, would you have the courage to investigate? Redditor Ponce Flans uploaded a video clip of whatever was going on outside his home to Reddit. In the clip, it sounds like Ponce is opening his blinds, and outside you see nothing but darkness and a few streetlights, but nothing too disturbing. You can hear a faint murmuring, but it's only when he opens the window that you hear the strange howling reverberating nearby. The weird sing-song howl doesn't exactly sound human, but it's hard to pinpoint what it does sound like. It continues over and over again. As Ponce notes, it sounded at first like it was coming from right outside his house, but on second thought, maybe it's coming from below the bridge.
I thought it was coming from right outside my house, but it looks like it may be under the bridge.
At the end of the video, you hear what is very much a human voice screaming.
What?
Some say in the comments that it's telling whoever is howling to be quiet. Many commenters call this sound unsettling and disturbing, while others suggest that Ponce go see what it is. Soiled Sanchez seems to have the most likely explanation. It's a train with empty hopper cars, he writes. Bad wheels or wailing ghosts. I know I wouldn't want this sound waking me up at 3 a.m. Jonathan Savo published this video in January 2015. After visiting his girlfriend in a Paris hospital, he wrote that a woman in the next bed was roaring and screeching with the voice of a devil, and that's what the video captures. The woman is seen lying flat in a bed, speaking in a raspy, evil voice. She is harassing the couple, calling them tacky and ugly, and telling them they're all going to die. Although you can only see her profile in the video, and you can't see her mouth moving, what you can see is her chest rising and falling as she delivers her angry tirade of insults and threats. She then says she's going to call her mafia friend, after which she claims she's going to remove her IV drip so they can get out of the hospital. That's where the clip ends, leaving us wondering if the woman did in fact try to escape, but John doesn't leave us hanging. In his own words, he wrote, "I was no longer filming when she or it started to get up and wanted to take the life of a person sitting next to her. 5 nurses came in to stop her, and we were asked to leave the room quickly. What happened next, John doesn't know. Prior to this experience, John says he was skeptical about demonic possessions and everything related to them, but after seeing one in the flesh, he's a believer." What would you do if you lived in a haunted house? YouTuber Charles Larita and the Mischief decided to film it. He posted this video in June of 2011, writing, "My house is seriously haunted, and I'm still freaked out about this." In the video, he claims he always hears noises coming from his room, even when there's no one there, and while he's in his room, he feels a strange presence. After setting up a camera at night with the lights on, he discovered something strange around 2 hours into the footage. Here's what he found. The video shows a shot of the room, somewhat unfocused, with a chest of drawers, a black guitar case leaning up against it, and a door. After a moment, the light on the chest of the drawers starts to shake back and forth slightly. Something falls off the top of the chest, and then the door to the left swings close with exactly no one in sight. Many in the comments are freaked out by this bizarre clip, with BTS Nelly Thickums writing, "Move out of that house." Others agree they would have hightailed it out of that place. What would you do if this was your home? Mysterious footage of a strange event caught on CCTV leaves one man wondering if they live in a haunted house when a bookshelf purges itself of reading materials in the dark of night. Soon afterwards, the door opens, and a man looks into the empty hallway like he's seen a ghost. Judging from his timid reaction, thrown objects are a classic sign of poltergeist activity. However, some people in the comments say this was done with strings. There's one book that falls in the opposite direction as the rest. Is this simple physics or another sign from the paranormal? The haunted Greystone Manor. YouTube team Paranormal of Watertown POW experienced some strong poltergeist activity. They asked the spirit to play a game.
Yeah, I'm recording.
Turn around. Oh. You wanna play some pool?
And later, the REM pod goes off like mad.
Can you stop touching that for a minute?
Thank you.
It even seems to be listening to them. As they're using other devices, the spirit pushes a ball on the floor.
Oh, that just spiked again.
Oh,
That ball.
thank you.
This is just a taste of the activity the team captured at Greystone Manor. It certainly seems like a haunted location to me. I don't know about you, but I'm tuning in for more. Davo Velkrat explores an abandoned building on YouTube Live when his expression is interrupted by a distinctly human voice, or at least something doing their best impression of one. Eventually, Davo tracks the noise to a single room not far away. He waits for another minute, hesitant to go any further, and sees a face poke around the corner, but when he rushes in, the person is gone. A closer look at the room shows that there are no windows or doors that they could have escaped through from where they were positioned. There simply should be no way for them to disappear, and yet they are gone, leaving Davo Velkrat wondering what the heck is going on. A group of friends from high school are joking around in Call of Duty. As the round comes to an end, somebody enters the private party and turns on their mic.
I'm saying they saw it.
Yeah, they got 2 of them in the...
This is soon followed by evil laughter.
For the first
We're literally getting drilled on.
Like I said, these are close friends from high school who know each other's voices very well. If any of them were joking, at least one of them would pick up on it and know who. And besides that, this next noise does not even sound like a human.
Like that way.
I think I don't even...
The microphone at times sounds way louder and more clear than any of theirs, and sometimes like it's on another planet. Hopefully it was just hackers and not something from the other side.
Yeah, they got 2 of them in the...
A witch was captured on a security camera performing rituals outside this home. She appears to arrive on a broomstick. She scatters something on the ground and then does a little dance. Then it seems like she sets off a car alarm with her antics. After wandering around the car for a while, she returns to her place and bows down. After doing some more strange dancing, she disappears. She returns to dance again though. Is this real witch activity caught on video? I want to believe. After all, some of it does look quite convincing. But again, her disappearance leaves me skeptical. We've seen plenty of poltergeists on top 15s, but this one is particularly aggressive. Posted to very spooky videos. A major malfunction writes, person captures saucer levitating as poltergeist takes over a room. The video begins in complete chaos as the light from an overhanging fan flashes on and off. while the fan is going. Then on the wall, a picture in its frame starts to bang. A moment later, a cup levitates off the table, flings up into the air, and then falls to the floor. The man taking the video gets the heck out of there. That's right, put as many miles as you can between you and that poltergeist. Seems like Mad Max. These fishermen were casting into the ocean waters of Palm Beach, Florida, when a massive potential megalodon shark comes straight at their boat. The gigantic shark is easily the same size as their entire boat and could flip them if only it knew how. The sea creature faces them head on and gives the fishermen a great view of its Goliath physique as they have a tense standoff. Then it quickly snatches up the bait and retreats back to the depths below. It's hard to make out a lot of detail because there is somewhat of a glare, but I have little doubt that this video is real. Let me know if you have any idea as to what kind of shark this could possibly be. This video, posted in November of 2013, purports to show found footage of a graveyard sighting. The clip opens on a headstone reading Maria Melgar. A cross made of punched out holes is centered in the stone, making one man wonder aloud what was supposed to be placed in the holes. The cameraman zooms out, capturing his friend pointing in the distance. He says that's where the grave is. They zoom in closer on the figure. It does appear to be tall and slender, and apparently is standing right in front of the cameraman's brother's grave. The figure is dressed in a suit, seems to be bald, and has an extremely pale face. Is this Slender Man? Or just some creep in a cemetery? I guess we'll never know for sure. When you can command a door to open and close, you may just have The Gift, published by the Scottish Ghost Company. In February of 2022, this investigation of an industrial complex turned super creepy when the investigators' commands were granted. The pair is alone in the warehouse aside from the ghosts. You can hear them communicating via the spirit box in the adjacent hangar throughout the video. The pair approaches a door and asks the spirit to open it if he or she is still with them.
Can you open the door, please, if you're still with us?
In answer, the door slowly swings open. A moment later, when asked to close the door, the spirit acquiesces, slamming the door shut.
Really impressed. Thank you. Thank you.
Many in the comments call this activity mind-blowing and wonder if it's real. Is this a portal to another world? Step on through if you dare.
Can you open the door, please, if you're still with us?
Oh my god.
This ghost hunter should really be looking behind him. Published by Find Ghost in December of 2021, a man stands in the wilderness holding something and addressing what's in front of him. He is oblivious to what's behind him. A djinn appears, transparent at first, but then more solid looking. The djinn stays only for a moment before gradually vanishing again. The moral of the story? Sometimes what you're looking for is right over your shoulder. YouTube channel Paranormal Nightmare TV series takes a location tour of Bridgeport Manor, and they soon encounter the manor's mysteries as the tour guide shares that a man passed away of a heart attack in this room. Listen closely.
He said, well, we want to go talk to Lester James. He says, it's me.
What was that voice?
We'll go talk to Lester James. He says, it's me.
One of the crew even hears it in the moment.
Who was that?
What'd you hear?
A male voice.
Later, as they're capturing video in the building, several noises are heard.
Hear it?
Dude, that vibrated the whole building.
House voice.
Somebody's got to be here.
Although they didn't find anyone there, they hear more haunting proof later.
It was like it answered you.
If you can see or hear us, hit something and give us a sign of your presence.
Oh, alarm.
They hear one of their paranormal devices go off on the second floor.
Keep your left a little bit rocking.
Who keeps setting our alarm off in the cell?
They receive no answer until the demon talks directly to them through the spirit box.
We heard you walking. Is that you?
Do you want to play?
Oh, yes, I want to play.
And it seems the demon does.
Did you just touch me?
Did.
I think there is enough evidence here to suggest this place does house some ghosts or demons, but whether or not they just want to play is anyone's guess. Two friends are fishing when they hear somebody else firing for hunt not too far away. The two don't think much of it and let the man continue his hobby while they continue theirs. They keep casting into the water and everything is going fine for about a minute, and then the two sports collide.
Holy! Stop! Hey! Hey! It hit my boat!
Look again and you can tell that he doesn't pick his foot up for dramatic effect. It was really that close. When you slow down the video to frame by frame, you can briefly see the round as it bounces off the deck right by his foot. If they had been drifting downriver, even just a little faster, it would have been a direct hit and a trip to the hospital for certain. A CCTV gym camera captures this slow-moving white object at 6 in the morning. The strange shape appears to float in midair and even slightly changes form at times. Paranormal or not, experts have been ultimately unable to determine the source of this fluttering figure. I guess it might be a piece of lint or something that got stuck on the lens of the camera, but the way it slowly sways without going anywhere makes me think that this really could be a classic haunting. These friends are talking in the kitchen when someone else pulls up a chair to join them. The only problem is, no one's there. When one of them finally notices that the chair is a full 2 or 3 feet away from the table, he's so startled that he doesn't even close the refrigerator. He just wants to get away fast, which is a realistic reaction for sure.
That chair move!
Of course, no one else in the group believes his bizarre story at first, but when they see it for themselves, their scared reaction are as legit as can be. I'll add that the fear and surprise on his face is readily apparent here too.
Chair move! You got crazy?
All of them are trying to come up with a rational explanation, and the best answer they have is that the man in a white shirt is somehow causing it to happen. It's true that the chair only seems to move when he is either approaching it or standing nearby. Just when they are beginning to calm down, a final event seems to confirm their suspicions.
Something's wrong with you, bro. Something's wrong with you.
Let me know what you think is happening here, and if you think this is a prank or the early stages of a spiritual possession. Would you take something that turned you into a zombie? Please don't do it because it's a horrible idea. In October of 2017, a number of sightings were reported in Brazil in which humans were behaving monstrously, with some running their heads into windshields and others flailing their arms and screaming nonsense as if they were possessed. This video clip shows what a nightmare this can be.
Come on, dude.
He pounds the windshield as well before taking a running start at it with his head. With his arms outstretched, the boy screams into the ethers, while one guy outside holds an arm out, seemingly trying to calm him. The boy continues to scream in place before trying to smash his way into the bus again. This goes on for several minutes. Whatever this man has taken to be acting this way, just remember, it's never a good idea to do the same. Exploring an abandoned secret nuclear bunker designed for NATO headquarters? What could go wrong? That's what the crew from YouTube channel Broken Window Theory did in November of 2020. The team explains a bit about the video, writing, "In the belly of a mountain, we found this secret NATO bunker at an undisclosed location, hard to find and even harder to enter. Naturally, the team considers it the ideal place to get trapped, as they dive right into the belly of the beast. The bunker is located in southern Italy. They arrive at the entrance, an unobtrusive cement block which they pull up to reveal the tunnel that they climb down into. The secret bunker was dug right into the side of the mountain and stretches several kilometers. As they walk deeper and deeper into the mountain, it gets colder by the minute. 200 or 300 people were stationed here in the darkness when it was active. Now, only moldy furniture and rusted pipes remain. They arrive at the fallout door, which looks creepy and foreboding in and of itself. Later, they come across a control room, as well as lists of aircraft and maps still pinned to the walls. When they come to the water reservoir, they toss a few rocks in to test the echo, which seems never ending. The echo sounds even more ominous a few moments later, almost like someone singing. After exploring a bit further, they finally climb out of the bunker and back into the 21st century. Although this bunker is a pretty epic urban exploration, it's lucky it was never made necessary. Otherwise, the 21st century may not exist. A large rat finds itself trapped in what looks to be the corner of a kitchen. It appears to be at the mercy of the man recording, who, to be fair, seems to want to cause it no harm to begin with. But as Marcus Goodiron zooms out, you can see to your horror that this is not in a kitchen at all, nor is it on the floor. I guess a large rat climbing your wall isn't exactly the happiest of endings, but it is most definitely unexpected, not to mention a good reason to give the walls a good scrub down. This is some serious EMF gone wrong. Published by Dark Life in March of 2022, Dennis held an EMF session in the basement of this old house in which girls are said to have gone missing. After spending some time in the basement, he hears something in the wardrobe. As he reaches toward it, the wardrobe starts to rock aggressively. Dennis runs from it, and in doing so appears to hurt his leg amongst all the rubbish in the basement. He looks back for a moment but decides it's best to leave the house. And after seeing this shell of a haunted home, wouldn't you? YouTube team The Ouija Brothers are exploring the haunted Wales house in this scary short, and they call this the scariest moment of their lives. They start to feel something right away.
Now, this is meant to be one of the most haunted pubs in Wales, and I will say I'm on edge. It feels like something's going to happen.
When they ask the spirit a question, something moves.
Do you want to hurt my friend Stephen? There's got to be someone here.
Whoa!
The door just moved.
The door moved ridiculously.
One of them goes to check it out, and they're met with terror.
Oh, don't feel nice up here. Hello? Oh,
It's time to leave.
now I'm out.
What?
I'm pretty sure the Wales house doesn't want them there, or if it does, it welcomes them to the other side. The Sonora Inn was built in 1896 and is infamously haunted by many a spirit. Thomas writes that he worked night shift there in 2018. As he was setting up for breakfast at 5 a.m., this is what was captured on security camera. Watch the bowl he places on the counter in the top right corner. Let's see it again. Do you believe in this dining room poltergeist? I feel it might be a case of the wet surface of the bowl acting as a lubricant. After all, he did say it was a bowl of ice, but that's just my theory. What do you think? So there's a YouTube channel called EB30X Fitness, 34 videos, 1-year-old account. Not exactly the first place you'd go looking for paranormal content, but there's one creepy workout video they can't explain.
5, 6, 7. Did anybody see that orb fly behind Karen?
Aura.
Anybody see that orb?
A wavy light goes over his client, and he puts everything on hold to point it out. Honestly, it looks like a bug to me. He says it's a ghost caught on film though. I don't think they're doing this for publicity. It has less than 1,000 views, and their fitness studio Facebook page in Illinois already has 300,000 followers, so I think he's being sincere when he says it's a ghost orb. What do you think about this paranormal activity? It's pretty creepy, but like I said, maybe a bug. When you're arguing whether a shirt is red or maroon, the ghosts in your presence will know they've had enough of you two. Published to YouTube in May of 2020, this is what happens when a ghost gets fed up with your bickering, throws up his hands, and storms out of the house he's haunting. The uploader explains that during their last visit to this place, they experienced the door slamming but didn't have a chance to record it, so this time they returned to capture it on film. This video is cut down to 3 minutes of the 50 that were recorded. The clip shows the boys arguing whether or not one of their shirts is red before deciding to call it quits with the filming, since it had been nearly an hour. Just then, something clearly slams in the distance. The uploader says his friend thought it was the hinges of the door rather than a ghost, but decides that the video is proof it wasn't the hinges. He also claims that he and a friend saw a shadow person in this building as well. The uploader writes, something said that it could have been air in the last upload, but it wasn't sure. The thing, if it was air, it would have opened it. The air is coming from outside, so it would push out to open. Instead, what we caught was a ghost slamming the door the opposite direction of where the air was coming from, so the force of the door slamming was going against the air. This was filmed in Harlingen, Texas, and there wasn't much airflow in the place according to the uploader. The group was sweating from so much stale heat. Well, maybe the ghost was too. CCTV footage often captures the unexplainable. Posted to YouTube by UFO Mania in May of 2018 and originally from FUMON, a Ring security camera caught a strange flying entity on camera. The unknown entity shoots onto the screen, sparking in the air before settling in a glowing fuzz at the bottom of the frame. It hovers there, floating, before jolting upwards and out of sight. YouTuber Trish Robinson writes, "One world has many creations in it. We simply don't understand them. Most will never be known by the masses. Is this just one of those many creations we don't understand?" Nevertheless, this footage raises multiple questions I wish we had additional evidence to answer. Redditor Wayne Bruce 11 was wondering why the TV was on in the morning and on a channel no one in the household ever watched. That's when he checked his security camera. It captured this at around 3 in the morning. Something has turned on the news. Well, I think this could definitely just be a connection or technical problem. The Redditor says they've been dealing with this ghost for 15 years. At least, the ghost's worst roommate faux pas is only late night TV watching. A YouTuber named The Legends TV is exploring a tunnel at 3 a.m. when he comes across a stenciled message on the wall. It's a rant about someone who doesn't want to take their medicine or live in a hospital anymore, perhaps made by someone who escaped an institution and now lives down here. To further support this theory, they find a lone baby doll laying in the dirty water, and tucked under the doll's arm is a steel blade. For all I know, this could be a trap set by someone who is not right in the head. They go only a little deeper and find this red clump of what appears to be matted hair stuck to the wall, almost like someone's scalp. Most of the time, security cameras capture hours and hours of useless footage. Sometimes, however, they capture something like this. Published in September of 2013, YouTuber Rainy Schooler writes, "A woman walks out of the darkness on a cold and wet night in the mountains far from a busy road and no immediate neighbors. The security camera is aimed into the wilderness and you can see a tree to the right side of the screen but nothing else. That is until, right in the middle of the shot, the figure appears, walks and stops and turns awkwardly. Not turning with her feet but just twisting with her upper body. Then she walks forward again before taking a sharp right turn and veering out of sight. The video moves forward about 45 seconds until the woman is seen winding around the tree and then is spotted back in the middle again, looking off into the wilderness, moving in the same strange start-stop fashion that she was doing before." A different security camera captures the woman walking up towards the house. Out of sight, it's not clear what she did alongside of the home, but she is soon seen again walking haphazardly away and around the same area near the tree in the back. She did this for 10 minutes, the video notes. Many in the comments think this woman must have been on something, but in the middle of nowhere. What do you think? I'm just glad they had security cameras so the homeowners were aware of her activities. This creepy encounter was posted to Reddit by Ghosty Phase. A Ring doorbell camera captured a young woman's stalker. The woman says she was followed home from Walmart and her stalker showed up on her doorstep. At first, the man appears to be looking for his own keys, but then he fails to find any and peers around the corner of the house. Many are wondering if the creep left something for his victim. Although we can agree that this is beyond creepy and edging into full-on horror, I do think this footage reminds us not to trust anyone. You never know when you could cross paths with someone like this. This is a witch's abode, and even in the afterlife she has not left. Dennis from YouTube channel Dark Life is paying the haunted house a visit in this scary video. While taking some photographs in this room, he sees something in the mirror that gives him pause. He explains what he saw.
Это мне реально сейчас не показалось. В зеркале, в том проходе кто-то стоял. Вот там.
This is what he actually captured on camera. While it does appear to be the profile of a person, it could also simply be shadows falling in a perturbing manner. But later, this happens.
Как так, я не понимаю. В зеркале она была. В проеме в этом.
What do you see here? Again, I feel like this could just be pareidolia. The way the light and shadows fall is conjuring up images that aren't really there. Or are they? It does look like a shadow is reaching out to touch Dennis at this point. You might consider calling the cops on the intruder trespassing on your property at night, but when it turns out to be this woman, maybe you should call a ghost hunter instead. Posted to Twitter by Daniela Guerrero, she writes in Spanish, "Okay, my parents have a security company, and how about the officials of a condominium have just passed them a heavy video of what happened last night. The video shows a large yard with a small pool. In the distance, a woman dressed in white crosses the property. She has dark hair and moves steadily forward until she's closer to the camera. She strides across, clearly on a mission, and that mission is to evaporate in plain sight. The phantom trespasser disappears into the night as she rounds a corner. What does she want here, and where did she go? All questions and no answers. Perhaps that's what we're supposed to have." A man is holding very still with his arm out at an odd angle. That's because he doesn't want to attract the wrath of this dangerous little fellow who somehow slithered into a scary situation. He is helpless as his friend carefully pinches his sleeve to determine where the snake is. He makes a cutting motion with his free hand to tell his friend what to do, not wanting to alert the snake with the vibrations of his voice. Once they carefully cut away the sleeve, you can see the snake is curled around his right bicep and in no hurry to leave. The mouth is right by his arm and it would take less than a second to strike with fangs. They wisely pull open the sleeve with the scissors to distract the snake and get its head away from his arm, but there's not enough room, so they need to cut more. By now, the snake is getting upset, so with no time left, they reach in and scoop him out. I guess they could have done that the whole time, but it was much too risky to be a first option. Take a look at its markings and tell me what kind of snake this is. I'm guessing by the way they handle it with such extreme caution that it has to be venomous. This aerial footage was broadcast live during a period of bad weather in Hebron, Ohio. Take a look at this flooded neighborhood and tell me if you see anything abnormal lurking in the dirty brown water.
Here with storm specialist Carl Parker, so if you want to stay on and have a listen, Carl's been looking at
A worm-like creature appears to wind its way around a house shortly before the camera zooms out. While this could be an ordinary piece of driftwood from the way it's moving in the water, I wouldn't be surprised if the floodwaters caused some sort of giant parasite to emerge from the sewers below. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Sallow Mac and originally published to YouTube by Bike Jin in March of 2020. This paranormal investigator may have just crossed paths with something very nefarious. While exploring an abandoned house, the investigator spies this creepy witchy woman in the hallway. Flames suddenly spark, running down the length of the hallway and flying up into the air in the adjacent room. It then falls in a giant blaze to the floor, burning in a ball on the carpet. For a time, the investigator watches the flames burn. It burns low, but then it bursts again, while the door behind it swings closed and then opens repeatedly. Is this a djinn's doing? Or maybe a witch's? Either way, get the heck out of there. Is this a werewolf, a cryptid, or something else? Redditor Twist of Fate 666 shares this creepy video of a mysterious creature in the darkness. Watch closely and tell me what you think. I think I'd run for the hills if I saw this in my backyard, but Redditors have many different takes. It looks like a demon at this angle, but still others think it's something natural. is this an elephant or a four-legged stilt Halloween costume, as some Redditors are suggesting? Or like the uploader thinks, could this be a werewolf? There are so many options that I feel I'm leaving this guessing game with more questions than answers. Om is a popular YouTuber from Delhi, India, who for 2 years has been steadily growing his channel Om Vlogs. At first, he would do normal things like go to a museum or an amusement park, but about a year ago, he started to get into ghost hunting. Now, he goes on ghost hunting explorations all the time, and they are really good. Delhi has a population of about 30 million people, so we are talking about a single city with as many people as the whole state of Texas, which means plenty of places to explore and plenty of ghosts to be found. So recently, Om Vlogs went to a building that was so cursed he wouldn't say the name of it or where it was, only that it was a restaurant in his hometown where something horrendous happened that made them close down and never reopen. On May 13th of 2020, they visit it for the first time, or at least try to. They don't get far because a presence guarding the area won't let them go inside. They stay at what they mistake for a safe distance and peer in. There's a light that's orange here at 8 minutes and 9 seconds coming from an otherwise dark room. They don't see anything else and chance a closer look. Om is talking more about the place when a mysterious shadow descends the wall at 12 minutes and 23 seconds. A minute later, they learn beyond a doubt that something is inside. His friend is standing next to him, so it's not him. They dare not enter, but they stick around for a bit longer. At 15 minutes and 22 seconds, a single pixel goes white while recording a room on the second floor. When they zoom out, the light mysteriously goes away, but not before more black shapes pass over it. By now, it's getting late, so Om is wrapping up the video when he senses something watching him and points out a shadow figure that only he can see in person. It doesn't show up on camera, at least not that I can see, but you should remember this area for later because things are about to ramp up. Apparently whatever is in there is not happy to see them again when they return a few weeks later. This time a white-robed figure with a demonic head and 2 horns leans on the brick wall as if taunting them to try and go in, which they don't notice and proceed to do. They shine their light into a blown-out window and eyes waverly reflect at 7 minutes and 5 seconds. The restaurant is obviously no longer taking reservations. They stand and brace themselves for whatever comes next, and when nothing happens, they decide to explore a few rooms before returning to the main area. As they think about whether to leave or not, a terrible feeling washes over them, and their camera goes out of focus like something is near, and it is. Om puts his hand up to shield the group from something they can't see, but we can. At 10 minutes and 58 seconds, it's coincidental standing in the exact same place where Om thought he saw something the first time. The building becomes more displeased with each passing moment. But when they go into the room to leave, its guardian is absolutely gone. I guess it knew they were leaving and letting them pass without harm. And I think I heard a fire alarm at 11 minutes and 18 seconds, even though the place clearly doesn't have one. I suspect it once burnt down. And what you heard was paranormal residual energy from the event. Om never does reveal the location, but there is a comment left by someone who thought they recognized the location, and I thought this was interesting. If someone could please confirm that this location is on the Cardinal Bypass Road in Delhi, that would be helpful. And tell us anything else you know about its haunted history. A YouTuber who goes by the one and only Spud Bud has been hearing scary noises outside of his house every night. Strange and mysterious sounds coming from the sky. It always seems to happen between 4 and 5 in the morning when it's still dark outside. Listen to this and tell me what you would do if you were woken up by this noise. It's hard to tell if the sky sounds are coming from an animal or a machine, or perhaps even some living mixture of both. Whatever it is, it sounds tremendously large and about to crush his house. On Thursday, after 4 days of scary noises, the one and only Spud records the creepiest video of all. This is when it sounds less mechanical and more like a creature, but tell me what you think it is. A low rumble pierces the sky with enough force to make the floorboards of his house creak. One thing that makes me think this is real is how he never leaves his home to go outside. Instead, he paces around his house nervously hoping that the sound will go away. And it looks like a realistic reaction. Well, most people believe this is real. One person said they analyzed the clip and found it was edited. They said they would link the sound file but never did, so their claims have not been supported. Let me know if you have ever heard this noise from any movies or other popular media. Maybe together we can figure this one out. This video was taken from a waiting station at the Islamabad International Airport in Pakistan. Any strings attached to this chair would be easy to see on the bright and reflective cement floor, but I don't see any, and the chair slides across the room without anyone in sight. It looks like it might be getting pulled by someone off camera here at the 33-second mark, but then it does a 360 all of its own somehow, so that theory is pretty much debunked. There's also no way for magnets to work from beneath a solid concrete floor, so I have no idea how this was done. Everyone knows you must drive defensively when you're on a motorcycle. After all, there's nothing between you and the pavement except whatever you're wearing and a helmet. But sometimes, no matter how defensively you drive, you learn how little others value your life. Delta 394 learned that in July of 2017 when he published a video of his encounter with a crazy driver. In the video description, he explained, "Guy in the blue Fiat Panda tries running into me while cutting across lanes. I wasn't having any of it, decided I would confront him in the supermarket car park, and he did confront the man, all of which was caught on camera."
Do you know how to use lanes, you prick? It's not you, you smashed my bloody thing. Why don't you see where you're going? Why don't you go in the right lane? I'm on the left. In the right place.
The man claims the biker smashed his mirror, while the biker claims he almost ran him over. As it turns out, the Fiat driver didn't like how the biker was driving, frequently slowing down and speeding up again. The biker then questioned what was more important, the man's mirror or his life. Most in the comments section seem to agree that the Fiat man deserved every bit of that confrontation. Who is in the wrong here? What do you across a scary elevator video from a Hindi-speaking YouTube channel? This video was the thumbnail image, and yet the video itself was missing on the list. That made me want to track down the original, and guess what? It's every bit as creepy as it looks. What looks like your average couple's argument goes way too far when he sees the door close at 8 seconds. The woman fearfully flinches, and this video is hard to watch because nobody deserves this and there's nowhere for her to go. By the time the elevator stops, her hands are tense and she is completely frazzled from the mistreatment. He goes to get her, but a stranger does the right thing and steps in between them. He immediately backs off and looks down in shame and embarrassment, but probably only for himself at getting caught. Anyone who does this is pretty messed up. I think this relationship is probably over. Anyway, this was originally posted by the Interval House in California, a place for women to get out of relationships like this one. I'm assuming this CCTV video is real, and it's something we really need to eliminate from society however we can. Michael is in the middle of making a rather innocent YouTube video when something from another world crosses over directly behind him. Michael immediately gets up to inspect the toy set, and you can clearly see that there was no string attached. A string would show up easily against the dark wood of this table, and there's also a Coca-Cola can directly in the path of where a string would theoretically have to be. In fact, watch again and you'll clearly see that Michael moves directly in front of the toy and would have totally gotten in the way of a string. The blocks themselves look to be positioned relatively secure at the bottom of a wire band, but I guess they could have somehow fallen on their own. A YouTuber named Visually Creeped TV is walking around a cemetery in Wisconsin when he hears creepy whistling from within a crypt that is locked and 100 years old. Take a look and try to tell me which direction you think it's coming from.
Let's go walk down here. What the
The only thing I find odd is that he initially looks in the opposite way of the crypt. When he first hears the noise, if the whistle was truly coming from inside of the crypt, I think he would instinctively turn the other way. He quickly walks around the crypt to verify no one is around, and then he hears the whistle again, this time where he just was moments ago.
Oh, like right behind me. Hello?
Overall, there's no easy way to fake this video. It doesn't really sound like speakers or anything like that, and it does sound like it's coming from inside of this structure, but the gates are chained shut. A YouTuber named Ben S is low on gas, so he pulls into a nearby station. He always wears a GoPro helmet when riding, and as he is fumbling with the card reader at the pump, it records something that he will have a tough time explaining later. A shadow passes by close enough to make Ben react. He turns around only to find nothing. What's really strange to me is how, if you pay close attention, you'll see the shadow disappear before it even makes it all the way across the pump. It's going from left to right normally and then suddenly vanishes somewhere in the middle. I know that shadows can sometimes play tricks on you, so I'm not going to say that this is 100% paranormal. If you have a scientific explanation as to how this could have happened, please share. Until then, I am inclined to take Ben's word that this was a phantom figure. While investigating this haunted school, Moxley's paranormal world gets schooled by spirits. As Moxley explores this upper room, several unexplained sounds occur.
You blow it and it'll pull any energies that are here, any spirits. Somebody was at the door then.
Then one of the crew senses the front door moving.
That door's moving. That door's moving. There's a f***er out there. Where? That green one.
Somebody just grabbed me off. What are you doing?
They don't find anyone outside, but later things escalate as one crew member feels like she got smacked in the nose.
Not really it.
Yeah.
Alright.
You're bleeding as well. What's happened? Yeah, you're bleeding.
I felt like my nose has got it. Not it hard, but a bit. You're bleeding. You're bleeding.
Is the ghost of a mischievous pupil sticking around this haunted school? I think they might be, and they're certainly keeping the school spirit alive. Lingering above the colony venue in Woodstock, New York, YouTuber Woodstock Webgirl captured this strange unidentified flying object on camera. What is that? Here's a closer look. One YouTuber says it's an airplane, but I've never seen an airplane appear round in form, even from a great distance. Airplanes also don't generally hang in the same spot for a long period of time. While I can't say for sure that it's extraterrestrial, it's certainly unidentifiable and flying, so it is technically an unidentified flying object. Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Kane Sweet 2000. This Redditor wrote, "Hi all, we moved into a council house since January, and we had some very strange things happening. We have a vintage radio and it has been making some strange noises. The weird thing is there isn't any batteries inside it." Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about.
Finished?
There was certainly some debate about this video in the comments. Lechiflada wrote, "That's really strange." Well, GameCat UK wrote, "Where is the radio in the video? Do you have a picture? I have a feeling it's a rare example of an old semiconductor picking up on local radio waves, though the amplification is baffling. I think the radio is that thing in the bottom left corner at the 5-second mark. Which side are you on here? Let me know in the comments. Is someone there?" Posted to the Ghosts subreddit. Resurrect writes, "The De Soto mine in Arizona is the creepiest place I've ever been. At the time this was taken, nobody else was there. Yet listen closely to their recording. From deep within the mine, you can hear footsteps walking on what sounds like wooden planks. The Redditor says in the video that his eyes are playing tricks on him, but he writes that they didn't hear anything but water droplets at the time. They only heard the footsteps later as they watched the recording back."
I really hope it's not my eyes playing with me, but...
Is something in this tunnel with them? Some in the comments think it's paranormal. Others suggest the water droplet theory, which is that the echoing of water droplets can distort to the point that they sound like other sounds. What do you think? Is this nothing but distorted water droplets? Or is something at the end of that dark tunnel? The Camino de la Muerte, or Road of Fate, lies in Bolivia along a 50-mile rocky narrow downhill road. The pass is so dangerous that the Inter-American Development Bank deemed it the most dangerous in the world in 1995. Somewhere between 200 to 300 people perish each year on this road. In this video, a bus driver attempts to traverse it to his own detriment. The road, which had recently suffered heavy rain, was prone to landslides, making the crossing even riskier business than usual. After ordering his passengers off the bus for safety's sake, they watch in terror as the driver attempts to creep across a very shaky and crumbling stretch of sand and rock, one that should not be crossed. The passengers attempt to help guide him, with one man in the video moving forward to motion that the driver move further away from the edge. It appears as if the bus will be successful in completing this crossing, but suddenly the ground crumbles beneath it and the bus tips, falling over the cliff, through the trees and down the mountain. While it's fortunate that the 50 passengers survived their devastating journey, sadly, their driver did not. A TikToker paranormal team called Zodiac Supernatural is in the middle of the woods when this wild noise rips through an otherwise still night. Tell me if you can identify this creature, because it sounds massive and furious.
Really cold to be skinny.
I can't tell if it's being devoured, letting out a warning call, or just going crazy at their camera lights. I'm surprised that everyone doesn't immediately run away, which makes me wonder if they actually had some idea of what it was and possibly weren't telling us.
So it's really cold to be skinny.
An unknown creature sighting was caught on video by a girl from Boswell, Pennsylvania.
Who's there?
She's returning from a friend's house when this bizarre humanoid figure follows. When confronted at 1 minute and 37 seconds, it stretches into a shape later described as a large dog or a deer and runs away. It does look to be a mysterious, shape-shifting creature too small to be a person, at least from this perspective. This could be someone crouching down at an odd camera angle, or it could be the Pennsylvania creature known as the Boswell bush crawler. If only it were a few steps over in the light, we would have been able to better tell. If this video doesn't get your heart racing, it certainly did for this guy. His name is Daniel Stanley, and he gets so pumped up that he can make his heart do this. Watch this and tell me if you know what medical condition this is called. I couldn't find much information on this person, aside from the name and his reputation for being able to make his heart race so hard, it nearly pops out of his chest. So please fill me in about his life if you happen to know more. Anyone who's still in school has no doubt learned by now that remote learning is not very fun. However, every once in a while something will happen to liven up the lesson, or in this case, make it absolutely terrifying. This teacher has been cooped up all by himself for far too long and really doesn't seem to be enjoying his job or much of anything nowadays. To make things worse, the students keep playing a joke on him by saying that there is something watching him from behind. He knows that students like to mess with their teachers however they can, and so he tells them that it's just him and his dog living there and no one else. Little does he know how truly wrong he is.
Y tanto el movimiento no existe, relacionado con lo que dice Raúl, el gato de... No me suena la tinga en alemán, pero en inglés.
Around the corner is the pale grim face of a ghost, half covered in shadows as it peers in from the dark hallway. I wonder if her other side is twisted and disfigured. We never get to see. In true paranormal fashion, the scary face dares not to enter the light and retreats before its discovery. The teacher goes on to explain that he just moved into this house, and so there's no way anyone is behind him. But once again, he is schooled by the supernatural.
Por ahí, en ocasiones, las llamadas paradojas. ¿Alguien sabe qué es una paradoja?
The door opens without anyone touching it, and as the girl retreats into the next room, his dog, who has been quiet this whole time, starts barking out like a stranger is near. It whimpers as he closes the door. The poor thing definitely doesn't want to be left alone. If you ever get lost in your own little world while driving, you may be missing out. Fear is right outside your window. YouTuber Nabs Maya captured this unusual figure on camera, and they are disturbed by it. Watch closely.
Because no guys are coming now yesterday. They were
right, so the beginning of the show at 10 o'clock on the dot this morning, and we have got one new entry on the Coke Top 40. We've obviously then got one faller. We'll get to that a little bit later, but that new entry...
What they're looking at is that bright pale figure in the middle of the field. It appears to be standing idle. Though the camera is shaky, the figure doesn't move. You can even see a bird fly past it, undisturbed. What is this thing? It's difficult to tell from such a distance. I think it could be anything. A person, a scarecrow, even a ghost. But these guys are gonna have to get closer to test out my theories. Reddit user Pentax25 says that his dad captured something rather unnerving on his porch camera late at night on a breezy April evening. The OP says he has no idea what exactly was captured and is in need of second opinions. Take a look at this piece of footage and make sure your volume is up relatively high. That's chilling. I just wasn't expecting that scream there. That was absolutely terrifying. Really caught me off guard. Especially just that one lone scream in the middle of the night. And apparently something else is also captured here. Right there, just those very faint whispers. So that's just absolutely bizarre, this whole video between that one scream, and I know the usual explanation when it comes to these screams is, oh, it's like a fox or some sort of animal. What really I think makes this video terrifying is that that can't be the case, because there's also these very distinct whispers heard. But obviously that scream is by far just the scariest part of this video. Let's play that back one more time. Just absolutely terrifying. And there are the whispers. The video goes on for about another full minute after the last sound can be heard, but sadly, or luckily depending on how you look at it, no other sounds can be heard afterward. Opinions on what was making these terrifying noises are divided, with some saying that it could just be something simple like a fox roaming around late at night through the neighborhood or some other animal. But as you can expect, others are thinking that it could be that of a skinwalker, a creature in Navajo folklore that is said to be a dangerous witch that has the distinct ability to turn into, possess, or disguise themselves as an animal. Looking at this video footage, that description seems eerily accurate. A YouTuber named LaxRebel225 is playing a video game at home when he hears something loudly bust through the front door. He's frantically looking from room to room when finally he hears it making a racket again, this time from the kitchen. When he crosses into the kitchen, nothing is to be found. Instead, he hears it again from behind. I'm not sure why he stomps his foot here. If he's trying to scare the creature away, it doesn't work. LaxRebel does a full circle around his home and ends up standing just outside of the kitchen again. He seems to get a bad feeling and hesitates. That's when this inhuman noise fills his house. The creature seems to say something in a chittering language that almost sounds like an evil laugh. Then it leaves his home, shutting the door behind itself. Maybe I'm just overthinking, but the alien's voice sounds very high quality, like way too good for the average YouTuber to edit into their video with home equipment. As much as I don't want to admit it, I think this video could be real based on the creepy laughter alone. Still, I'd definitely like to know what you think after watching this video. I'm especially looking for the opinions of people who have experience with audio engineering. Every single body has disappeared from this Thailand cemetery overnight, casket and all. Empty rows stretch as far as the eye can see, with absolutely no evidence as to how it was done, no tracks from heavy machinery, no shovels accidentally left behind, no footprints, nothing. The person recording cries. Is this a sign from above? Zombies, body snatchers? Whatever the answer may be, this video simply shouldn't exist. Florida resident Candice Spivey was shopping at Target when she was approached by a stranger. This man started a polite conversation with her, but something was wrong. The same man had done this same thing to her earlier at a grocery store.
Do you remember running into me in the grocery store? No, hey, where are you going? Come back. Hey, get this guy. Stop him. Stop this guy. Stop him. Stop that guy. Call the cops. Call the cops on him. Call the cops.
As soon as she confronts the man on it, he takes off and she follows him out of the store. Apparently, this was a registered offender who secretly recorded women. This just goes to show you never know who the real person is behind a polite stranger. Hopefully this man stopped his horrible actions after being publicly confronted like this. If you ever find yourself swimming with the fishes, you'd better hope they're not piranhas. The bite force of a black piranha is incredibly powerful. It's 3 times as strong as an American alligator and 30 times stronger than its own weight. Point being, no dentist would want to work on these chompers. This video shows just how effective a piranha bite can be. Published in May of 2011, this bite test was administered in Ecuador. Holding a piranha in one hand and a stick in the other, the man brings the stick near the piranha's mouth and the fish easily and instantly snips like a pair of scissors. There's no question about it. If given a chance, this seemingly innocent fish will take more than a bite out of you. It may take a limb. A YouTuber named Panji Petualan is searching for frogs with his friends late at night along with anything else they can find. The team has their head down to look for prey, but at 21 minutes and 4 seconds, Panji looks up for the briefest of moments and catches this bipedal creature as it sprints away from the light. It happens so fast that they don't even appear to see it at first. It appears to be a pale white and instinctively flees from the light, which makes sense for a nocturnal creature to do. It does not make a sound as it moves, despite being the size of a human and a very close distance away. Your possessions are safe right outside your home. This series of videos will have you second guessing that. The uploader explains that the first video occurred on a Saturday night in June of 2019. It shows 2 women on the balcony of a house, innocently looking through a shoe cubby. After checking out a couple pairs, they suddenly race from the balcony. Apparently this isn't their home, and they aren't supposed to be there. These same brazen ladies return in the second video. It appears they felt the need to trespass further. One of the women returns to the balcony, strolling across it at ease. That is, until she notices the security camera posted up in the corner. She laughs and covers her face, quickly leaving the balcony. It's not clear if these intruders made off with anything from the apartment, but Kazium asks viewers to spread the word. If not thieves, it's still creepy to imagine strangers lurking right outside your front door at night. What's the creepiest thing that you found on an urban exploration? I'm betting it's not creepier than what Explore Abandoned Places with Tattoo Tony Alton found in St. Louis. The YouTuber published this in February of 2017, writing, "We found part of a spinal column in the basement of this creepy abandoned house." The YouTuber goes on to say that the entire street is abandoned. No big surprise if it's scary and dangerous. Tattoo Tony says the houses here were built sometime between 1910 and 1916. As he enters the first building, you can see that it's completely tattered and dilapidated. The wallpaper is flaking from the walls. The ground is absolutely covered in debris and filth. There's still furniture left over in some of the upstairs rooms. It looks as though whoever lived in these homes just up and left one day, leaving everything behind. As he walks through the building, you can hear wind whipping through the place, so it's understandable why the ceilings and all the walls are flaking. But it's when Tony heads into the basement that things get really chilling. Here, he comes across part of a spinal column. Some in the comments debate whether it was from an animal or a human. Whatever the species, Tony wrote, it was a little spooky. Urban exploration can have its risks. The question is now, what is the story behind the spinal column? Elliot Mosqueda has a motion sensor cam in his living room that at first glance appears to go off for no reason. Look at the television though to see someone crossing the room. I can see the black reflection of this square poster in the television, so it definitely really was the same background. The question is if it's real or edited. You expect to see kids throwing temper tantrums at McDonald's, not grown adults. But this video goes to show that some of us never do grow up. The woman in the video stands pouting with her arms crossed at the counter. She was angry about her order, having returned her hamburger twice and demanded her money back. When the employee refused, the woman went and got a water dispenser and poured it out on the counter. She then pushed the cookie container off the counter as well. Still not satisfied, She picked up one of the yellow, slippery when wet warning signs and flung it across the counter, presumably at an employee. She also pushed all 3 registers over the counter. According to the police report, the employee then warned her that she was calling the police, and this woman took that as her cue to go, but not before cussing the employee out like a sailor. While mental health or anger issues may be responsible for her actions, it's sad to see that staff members have to face events like this. This video has become quite popular in the Spanish YouTube community, but I wanted to shed some light on its origins. This clip is from the web series The Haunting of Sunshine Girl Network, posted in January of 2012. The uploader wonders if her studio is haunted. In the video, she claims that she hasn't been down in the studio for a couple months because of what happened. What happened was that she heard someone speak while she was down there alone. She explains that her brother had been down there several times, and her brother went through every room but found nothing. Being as it seems the coast is clear, she wants to finish the video she'd previously been filming. But as she begins with the turning board, a dark figure, well, half of a dark silhouette figure really, exits the room far behind her and can be seen passing into the next room. Seeing the thing reflected in the mirror in front of her, the girl sprints out of the room full stop, racing up the stairs and banging on the door. Many in the comments are calling the apparition scary and creepy. YouTuber Bree Naylor writes, "Maybe it wasn't a good idea to watch this at 4:08 in the morning. It's bad enough I get scared just sitting in the living room, and then I watch this. I'm almost in tears. Are you watching at 4:08 in the morning too? Don't let this clip enter your dreams, but do check out the full Haunting of Sunshine Girl Network series. It's definitely worth the watch." Matt Petrez thinks this dark and empty hotel elevator looks strange, but he doesn't want to take the stairwell, so he gets on anyway. It's a long and creepy ride in total darkness that does not end well. Matt knows he has made a mistake as soon as the doors shut, but it's too late to do anything other than stare at the numeric red panel as it counts down the floors. Then on the 5th floor, this happens. Matt claims the elevator stopped moving and he was stuck for a long time. I guess he could have just covered the camera with his hand and made the story up, or maybe something bad really did happen on the 5th floor to cause this potentially paranormal elevator ride. A YouTuber named Gothboy Prince is playing with a Ouija board that refuses to cooperate with the camera. Apparently the pointer moves on its own, but only when he's not recording.
Hello?
Knocking on the Ouija board isn't the only way he shows disrespect. He tries to badmouth a spirit into moving the pointer on camera for proof.
I think you're a coward. That's what I think it is. I think you're nothing but a coward.
Less than 10 seconds later, he gets a silent reply.
It's moving.
At one point, Gothboy Prince hears a noise and looks up. You can see that he's sitting in bed with the Ouija board on his lap. There's absolutely no room for anyone to be controlling the pointer with a magnet from underneath, so that explanation is out. You can also see that he is alone and no one is in front of him pulling a string. As if all of this weren't already bizarre enough.
You see this?
The pointer moves too frequently and in too many different directions to be done with a string, which by the way would be clearly visible from this close of a distance away. Even paranormal skeptics can't explain how this pointer was able to move with no one nearby, but if you think you can, I would really like to hear the real reason. When a YouTuber named Blake Smith's Gaming Blitz claims to have been hearing paranormal sounds from his basement, his followers suggest that he leaves a camera downstairs and record what happens. He takes their advice, and this is what his phone supposedly picks up. The video goes on like that for over a minute, but he comes back and gets his phone. If this video is fake, then I personally don't know where he got these effects from. It doesn't sound like any movie I've seen or any game I've ever played. If you recognize the sounds from somewhere, or if you think this is real, then I definitely want to get your opinion. Here's another video from the same channel so you can hear it some more.
Hello?
Genlar Sebastian Diamond is a YouTuber who appears to be calling out some sort of high-level corruption, though I have no idea what he means. The first video he ever made is extremely hard to understand because he is mumbling something while holding his ID.
Every day,
Then he plays some text-to-speech program for a minute that unfortunately also makes little sense to me as well.
Day that children, their mothers, fathers, and young girls are being severely mistreated.
Almost all of his videos start with him showing his ID and then playing the text-to-speech program outside of his window or in various public places. There's little context to go off of, which somehow makes these videos even stranger. Even his ordinary trips to the grocery store somehow seem creepy as he slowly photographs everything that he is buying, and the receipt like they are all important evidence. Judging by the number of mysterious videos he makes every day, this dark issue must constantly be on his mind. When a YouTuber named Aqua Chigger stumbles across a fallen tree, something compels him to take a look inside. He immediately spots an unusual fragment in the freshly upturned earth.
Weird. What do you think?
This prompts him to look inside of the hole. He doesn't see anything else at first, but then...
Ooh, what's that? Stuff might just have gotten real, guys.
It's a piece of green fabric that Aqua Chigger hopes is just a tent. When he finds buttons, however, he knows that this is somebody's blouse. He finds some more remains and turns them over and over again, trying to determine if they are human or not. He notes that they are right by the highway and even says that police found a different body in a creek not too far from here. He eventually finds the jaw of a deer and some other scattered animal remains, so he decides not to call the police. Even if this was just animal remains, it still doesn't explain the fabric he found, nor does it explain how a couple of other bones look like they possibly could have belonged to a human. Let me know what you think this was, and if you think he came across something that should have been reported. The Shadows Are Coming For You, published by ILM and Bono Paranormal in July of 2021. This creepy clip shows you are never as alone as you think. A man is walking through an abandoned building, and his camera scans the room. Look carefully in the window pane. A shadow figure passes by, outlined against the glass. It's unclear if the figure is outside walking past or inside being reflected, but all I do know is the cameraman has company. If I were him, I'd be getting out of there ASAP. There is More to Fear in the Woods, published to YouTube in October of 2007 by Dennis Daunt. This video purports to show paranormal activity in the forest outside of Dudley Town. In the forest, a man is heard dialing up a friend to let him know that he's seeing some creature in the forest again, and he's going to try and catch it on video. He runs upstairs from the sound of it to catch it from a better vantage point. That's when, faintly, at the forest's edge, you can see a shadow pass in front of the trees in a quick flick. Some in the comments think it's a horse, but according to many others, Dudley Town is a cursed place. YouTuber TopsX4 warns others, stay out of Dudley Town, it's a dangerous and evil place. When you get into the town, there is no sound, not even a bird, it's like you're in a vacuum. Bad things happen here. DGS 104 also claims that his friend's car was trashed by spirits there. Well, Dave Harley agrees that Dudley Town is absolutely no joke, adding that many are said to have passed away in the coal mines, while other residents simply went insane. With such accounts and this video, I'm convinced to never visit. This CCTV footage comes from the London Dungeon, a famous tourist attraction in England that's rumored to be haunted. An employee is tending to their duties in the laundry room all alone. When they go to open the door to the washing machine, a hand reaches out and makes a grab at them. Weirder still is how the camera switches to static merely moments before this happens. Since technological malfunctions can often indicate the presence of the paranormal, and also given the location, I think this strange video could definitely be real, and if so, it's something that this employee will never be able to unsee. Is there someone hiding out of sight in this wreckage? Published by PH Red Fox, Yoon Sai-won is exploring an abandoned house in Korea when he hears this sound.
안녕하세요.
Is it an animal? A dog? He breaks out his EMF meter, which starts going haywire. He says it's not useful here because they're at the location's deepest point.
이제는 무의미해. 여기 가장 깊숙한 데 와버려가지고.
Using facial recognition software, a scary face is recognized where there seems to be no one. It's recognized again, closer to him this time. Later, while using a spirit box, Sai-won gets the fright of his life. A bang is heard coming from someone unseen. A short while later, he is visited again by the spirit. But he sees nothing, and no one amongst the mess. Is Sai-won being stalked? And if so, by what? Do you believe in demonic possession? This scary video might convert you. This video is trending in the Arabic-speaking YouTube community and shows an apparent possession unfolding before our very eyes. A young man is kneeling on the floor, his eyes rolled into the back of his head. The growling sounds coming from deep within him sound demonic. A couple of men stand above him, apparently trying to exorcise the demon out of him, while others are gathered around. One of the men places his hand on the possessed man's forehead. That's where the video ends. Viewers are left to wonder if this man was freed of the demon within, or if he simply continues to live with this evil plaguing him, but I sincerely hope that's not the case. A Redditor named Stalker the Zone seems like he is in a real hurry, as he records a wheelchair at the hospital. He is definitely waiting for something to happen, but I get the feeling he doesn't want to get caught by anyone using his phone, so maybe this is his place of work.
Come on.
Just when he is about to give up, the wheelchair comes to life and moves on its own. His vindication gives way to horror when he realizes the wheelchair is turning his way.
See, I fucking don't. No.
I guess someone off screen could be pulling the wheelchair towards them, but my understanding is that wheelchairs are fairly heavy, and any wire that could pull it would also be thick enough to see on video. If you think you see someone that others don't, you may be right. Posted to the Ghosts subreddit by Christina7658, the Redditor explains that a friend that works at a Subway in South Texas recorded this footage from a security monitor after a coworker kept seeing a cowboy who apparently wasn't really there. The bad quality of the footage is due to the fact that this happened more than 10 years ago. This is what the pair found when they reviewed it. A shadow figure is seen rising from the ground near the entryway. The mist-like figure appears to hover for a moment before making its exit through the window. This has most in the comments freaked out, with Typeractive Audie stating, "You can see his hat. I won't sleep tonight." Other Redditors like JCKCS Mama debunk the all too common insect on the lens theory by stating that the anomaly doesn't appear from the edges of the camera frame, as one might expect a crawling insect to. Instead, it seems to come directly from the ground. Christina also states that the anomaly appears to take on the window tint as it exits the building. She also notes that the worker who kept seeing the cowboy had seen it throughout her entire shift. There used to be another video of her washing dishes, and a black blob like the one in the video is next to her. Although she couldn't find the other video, the combination of events has many leaning towards the paranormal. Others suggest that corruption of the videotape or the camera's hardwire issues could be a more practical explanation. But is that what you're seeing here? This creepy doll was found perched on a platform in a graveyard. What is it doing here? Posted to the oddly terrifying subreddit by Blocks. The doll's eyes follow you wherever you move. It appears to be dressed in a baptism garb, and it has 2 sharp teeth and what look like real hair. The doll just keeps watching with its eerie grin as the cameraman takes it in from all angles. While some in the comments explain that these eyes are able to follow you due to the curvature of the glass, that still doesn't explain what this creepy demon doll is doing in a graveyard. Some Redditors want this thing removed from the earth just to be safe, but Geraldine Ferrari writes, its eyes would still follow you. Yikes. 3 friends on a YouTube channel called W2S decide to invent a game that they will all soon regret. All you have to do to win is kick a soccer goal from a rooftop pass. After nearly breaking a window and denting a car, they decide to try the game one last time. When they go to throw the ball to the guy on the rooftop, however, things don't go so well. Their friend misses the ball and tumbles all the way down from the roof to the ground. The only thing that breaks his fall is the roof of a car, which he heavily before slamming into the gravel below. He is somehow miraculously fine. This could have easily resulted in something much worse. Redditor Pitboy1050 captured this on his security camera at work, and it may make you want to call in sick.
16 flatbed trailers are mounted with those fireworks and 200 miles of wire used carry, so it is an impressive showcase for these hundreds of thousands of people.
While some think it's a ghost, the way it hovers looks almost mechanical to me. The Redditor writes that it went on for longer, and he could see the entire figure from top to bottom, and then saw it leave. In some traditions, souls are said to stay on Earth for 40 days after their passing. It definitely looks like a pokong to me, but it could also just be a bug on the lens. Which side are you on? UBA is a rapper from Mexico with a fairly popular YouTube channel. Recently, he admitted to the police that he has been working for the New Generation Cartel, which is basically the Mexican mafia. He has taken at least 3 people's lives and even dissolved them in vats of acid. Now police are working hard analyzing his music videos to determine if he has ever confessed to anything else in one of his songs. After all, anyone in the video could be an accomplice, and every lyric or camera shot could be another potential piece of evidence. I watched a lot of his videos for more clues, and the only thing I noticed was how one setting in particular would repeatedly come up. It's always this small wooded area that's by some train tracks. It could just be my imagination, but I can't help but wonder if maybe a 4th body would be found here if police were able to do some investigating in this area. Ready to activate your night terrors? Posted by Acid Gather to the Chills Narrator subreddit, the Redditor writes, "Think this is fake but still scared the living blank out of me at the end." Originally published to YouTube by Leadbelly in June of 2011, the uploader claims that something's watching him. In the video, the man says that this is the 3rd night this week that he's heard something. Then you hear it too. An irritating groaning is coming back from the bathroom. Redditor Philco79 writes in the comments that it sounds like a tauntaun, which is a non-sentient lizard from Star Wars. The man follows the sound there and finds that the bathroom is empty, or so he thought. He turns the corner to capture this. The The demon face does indeed appear blunt or like a frozen plastic mask, but somehow uncannily real at the same time. In the comment thread, Acid Gatter says he came across this video when he was researching shower demons because he senses a presence every time he closes his eyes in the shower when the curtain is closed. Redditor, after seeing this video, I'm pretty freaked out about a potential shower demon too. YouTube team Extinct File explores an abandoned mansion where they're tormented by ghost children. Inside the dark and dreary place, they find this unsettling picnic.
Madres, güey. Comida.
They turn toward another room and a moment later see this.
Ay, Dios. No mames.
After a while, they hear some barking in the distance and then something much closer.
Todo esto es de mármol, güey. Todo esto.
As they head upstairs to investigate, this happens.
Ay, Dios. No te pases de lanza. Que no mames. No mames.
Later, they try to communicate with the ghost children.
Que se quiera comunicar con nosotros.
This is what they saw.
Hijo del...
Did you see it too? I'm pretty certain that was a ghost child, and if it was, the crew had better watch their backs. Things aren't what they seem in this scary video. Redditor Amanda Loves Rufus 1 posted this clip of her neighbor's house. Watch the counter closely. Something neon blue seems to escape from the counter. Watch again. It looks like a flame bursting upward, but it disappears within an instant. Those in the comments seem to agree, with some saying it looks like gas igniting. Could this be a gas leak? Or as others suggest, a camera glitch? I think these homeowners should check their carbon monoxide and gas detectors, just in case. Seeing an object move in an abandoned haunted house may be a sign that you're not alone. Published to YouTube by Mo Sargi in April of 2020. The channel captured paranormal activity in a haunted house at 3 a.m. The haunted house in question is unsettling. Sitting deep in the forest, the wallpaper is peeling from the walls, and the state of things is decrepit. While taking all this in, Mo explains that this isn't their first visit here. He explains all they've already experienced in this haunted place, and they're about to be faced with even more. At around 4 minutes 40 seconds, some in the comments point out a figure moving in the far doorway. Later, at around 7 minutes 57 seconds, Mo and his partner hear a strange humming in the house.
Sounds like humming.
If that wasn't enough, as Mo speaks to the spirits around 16 minutes 40 seconds, the fan starts to move.
Is there anything here with us right now? Well, we do know you're here.
First clockwise, then counterclockwise. This is something that apparently occurred before. Mo explains that he has a sudden headache, which he's experienced previously at other extreme hotbeds of paranormal activity. Don't know about you, but I think it's time to close the case file on this haunted house. That is, if you want to play it safe. YouTuber Exploring with Josh spent the night in this building, one of the UK's most haunted hospitals.
It's called the Bonnie Garth Workhouse / Asylum.
Up to 300 people lost their lives in or died. Or 300 people could be lying.
At first, the explorers scare each other.
We're fast, I bet.
You! Oh! Yo! I'm so glad no one got my reaction. Dude!
But later they discover it's not each other they should be afraid of.
You can let me know. I'm gonna keep going. Oh, yeah, oh, okay. You ready?
After receiving that confirmation, they get a verbal one as well.
Or is there more like you here?
There's more. You like us?
According to the spirit's communication, there are more like him around. Did one of these others touch Seth?
We're back in the dark. We're finding the stairs.
Something just touched my back.
Yo, chill. For real?
I swear to bro.
Dude, I'm telling you, this one.
I believe the spirit when he says he's not alone. The fact that multiple devices were triggered when the spirit was questioned makes me think this isn't just coincidence. Something is residing here. A YouTuber named Alex Hayes and his friends find a cool looking stone perch overlooking the beach below. The good weather has them in high spirits, and it isn't long before they are playing around near the ledge. Alex wants to impress everyone with a headstand, but it doesn't exactly work out as planned.
Holy oh. Don't do that to me, Al. Oh my goodness. Holy oh.
Pause here and you'll see how close Alex was to tumbling over. He barely catches himself with his right hand, and if his right leg went back any further, then he would have definitely lost his balance. Can you imagine being a medical agent right now, forced to enter a lockdown territory? That's what this video apparently portrays, posted by Spicy Rice Photography to the Scary subreddit. The video shows the agent entering a dark and deserted apartment block. His walkie-talkie apparently has gone dark on his end. You can hear other agents, but he doesn't speak into it.
Jerry, it seems our comms are broken, and I can't hear a word they're saying.
He opens the door to an empty bathroom. Nothing untoward there. Next, he opens the door to an empty room. All that's inside is what appears to be a square red mat on the floor. A light source spotlights the mat. As the agent continues to breathe laboriously in the darkness, correspondents are regularly heard on the walkie-talkies. Suddenly, the agent starts to panic even more.
Jerry, your heart rate is spiking again. Is there any way you can let me know if you're okay?
His legs start moving and kicking, and in the darkness you can see why. The creepy figure of a girl with long black hair dressed in white is creeping toward him. As the agent tries desperately to move away, the girl only continues to slowly approach. The camera falls, white screening for a moment, only to capture one last shot of the girl in white, completely on top of him. While the agent may have been searching for survivors in the darkness, he probably regrets finding this one. Listed as creepypasta, this is still super creepy. Barry is positive that a spirit is moving around stuff in his house, so he takes a random object, puts it in the middle of the floor. This cat toy is remote controlled, so he puts the controller next to the toy to show that he is not messing with it at all. Nothing happens until almost 4 minutes into the video.
Okay.
Then nothing else happens until another 4 minutes later, when suddenly there's a second burst of movement. When it moves on its own a third time, Barry is confident that he has gathered enough evidence and stops recording. My only explanation is that Barry actually has 2 of these cat toys and was holding a second remote controller in his hands. However, you can just tell by looking at the controller that the big plastic buttons would probably make a loud clicking noise when pressed. Yet I never hear the button being pressed at all. Well, I think there's a good chance that this is real. Maybe Barry could record this again while showing himself in a mirror, just so we can see there is nothing in his hands. D-Menace is a YouTuber from the Ukraine who gets a thrill from exploring abandoned places. He's really pumped to see every level of this old factory because in his mind, the bigger the building, the better the adventure. But little does he know this urban exploration has already gone wrong in a scary way. The abandoned place has a lot of dead-end rooms, not to mention a creepy basement that fills him with unease. He can't even imagine who would ever live down here, but it looks like someone has before. The scariest place in the whole factory has to be this window, because of what he's about to see next.
He's coming. Oh, wait.
D-Menace is most likely walking around someone's turf. We all know where there's one creepy stranger, there's most likely more. Perhaps a whole misfit crew who doesn't take kindly to new faces, especially ones walking around with expensive camera gear waiting to get jacked. He soon suspects he's possibly being followed and decides to cut the urban exploration short before something else goes wrong. And it does. On the way out, he sees somebody stationed on the other side of a wall, like they're waiting for him. He accidentally makes a sound and the legs disappear from view. The exit is within sight and he is trying his best to creep along this wall unseen. He is tall and wearing a hat, so he's easy enough to see. Within seconds, a man stands over him, the same scary man he watched from the window. After a tense conversation, he soon learns that they are simply exploring the same abandoned place he is, and probably thought they were being followed. It's a simple misunderstanding, but I can't help but wonder if this was scripted, because at 10 minutes and 50 seconds, it looks more like D-Menace is trying not to laugh rather than truly being scared. I guess we all react different to fear, so maybe the anxiety from getting caught is what caused this nervous smile. Anyway, the two urban explorers exchange information and agree to go look at more abandoned places together someday. Tell me if you think they knew each other beforehand, because if not, this encounter would have absolutely been terrifying for both parties. A YouTuber named Guy Terry hears someone crying outside of his door and starts recording for both evidence and his safety. He quickly shuts the door and then appears to be torn between helping the stranger and running away. He decides to open the door once again, a bad mistake. Something about the timing of the video and the aggressive posture of the woman seems absolutely real to me. First uploaded in 2007, this video is one of the earliest ghost sightings to go viral. I'm not sure if this was truly paranormal or if someone broke in, but I do think it's not staged. Have you ever seen a door slam all on its own? Okay, but have you seen it happen in a creepy underground morgue? Steady Pop published this horrifying video in May of 2017, which begins scary and then escalates even further as the camera wads into the darkness with a flickering lantern lighting a hallway. Strange slamming noises are heard. You might be screaming, "Don't go down there," at your computer screen right now, but the cameraman isn't listening. He walks towards the hallway, and as he gets closer, you can see what's making that slamming noise. It's a red door down at the end of the hallway. It's opening and closing shut on repeat with no end in sight. As the cameraman gets closer and closer, your heart starts beating faster and faster. And then suddenly the door stops slamming. The lights flicker on and then off completely. When they turn back on again, the cameraman walks over to the door and opens it. Nothing is inside. The cameraman turns down towards the end of the hallway and into the adjacent room, but nothing. Was this the paranormal in action? Or as some in the comments believe, was a fishing line involved? Real or fake, what do you think? It's certainly some interesting footage. An Urbex YouTuber called RNK All Day is exploring a creepy building that used to be a funeral home before it was abandoned. The funeral home is not haunted per se, at least not from what I can tell, but what they find is every bit as scary as any ghost video you'll ever watch. You see, a long time ago, this North Carolina establishment was shut down because of improper business operations. People were not notified about their loved ones in a timely fashion, and the remains were often not stored properly at all. As RNK All Day explores the abandoned building, he finds evidence of their misdeeds laying out in the open. Sitting in a battered cupboard box on an old altar is a discarded plastic bag full of what appears to be ashes. There's no way to tell if these are the ashes of someone until you look at the box. That definitely says cremation services. If this is what we think it is, which I think it almost definitely is, then they should be properly placed in an urn, not out in the open like this. And if there are more items like this lying around, then maybe this building is haunted after all.
There's an alleged wolf cryptid that's said to roam the Allegheny National Park in Kane, Pennsylvania. The first sighting in 2017 describes it as tall, muscular, dark hair, and strange legs. This newer sighting 2 years later at the same location does show a mysterious creature with long, pointy wolf-like ears, but I'm not sure if it's real. First of all, when it takes a step at 44 seconds, the legs look normal and I'm pretty sure it's wearing clothes, not fur. Even the uploader of this video thinks it could have been a kid playing a joke. He says that the creature turned and ran after this video was taken, which I guess could have happened, but something about this video seems like it could have been made up, so I'm not exactly sure what to believe.
YouTube team Amitav Paranormal Tech YT explore this abandoned place when they capture a spirit manifesting on camera. Upon entering, they hear a banging sound. This is followed by a door closing. More racket is heard as the REM pod goes off. As they stand in the darkness, the banging continues. Not long after, a spirit manifests on this infrared camera. The cameraman leaves the cell, and when he tries to re-enter, he finds he's no longer welcome. In fact, no one is welcome. When they do not leave, the spirit doesn't let up. It has one last scare for the crew, and this one sends them packing. I'll be honest, I'm not sure how they stuck around this long. This place is certainly haunted, and they're lucky to make it out alive. A YouTuber named Ferris Wheeler is exploring an abandoned house with a friend. The first thing they notice is that the house is covered in flies and that all of the main doors are locked. After poking around some more, they come across the remains of a poor cat who must have gotten trapped inside. It's a depressing scene and definitely not the exciting find that they were hoping for. So they decide to leave. On the way out, however, they unintentionally record something watching them from the shadows. According to Ferris Wheeler, this is the ghost of a child. If you look closely, you can see a short, motionless figure with its face covered by long hair. Then again, this looks like it could be some sort of debris or even a wastebasket. Let me know what you think it is. The next time you gaze up into the serene night sky, you might experience a feeling of panic instead of peace. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by After Performance 2. The Redditor explains that these strange lights were seen in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina last year on July 19th. The lights were grouped in threes, and according to the Redditor, some disappeared before she could capture them on video. The video shows a trio of lights floating overhead in the sky, and a moment later, another trio closer to the horizon off in the distance. The sets of lights don't float in strict formation, but seem to each be wavering at their own pace. They then flicker and disappear. Redditor Professional Truck 3 suggests that these were paper lanterns lit and then launched from the beach, but the 70s Kids negates that, saying if these were lanterns, they'd drift apart. Well, some say the wind is obviously taking the lanterns in the same direction. After Performance 2 theorizes that they're all going to the same destination. Another Redditor, Buster Blevins, chimes in proposing that this is not necessarily a unique occurrence. He wrote, "Last Friday, a bunch of people saw something very similar to this in northern Wisconsin. The lights would appear in groups of 3, and it was as if there was a pattern that looked like the light was traveling in a circle around something." Any other theories as to what these strange lights could be? A YouTuber named Ashton Kelly is skateboarding with his friend Casey when they remember they're near an old haunted tunnel that might make for some good video. The first part is really small, so they scoot across on their boards until it widens to reveal the true, much darker entrance. Ashton is commenting on nearby spiders when they hear a low rumbling noise that I think is just the wind, but could be a growl.
It's a big spider. What the was it?
Eventually, they go so far down that they no longer get a cell phone signal, meaning they're truly on their own from this point on, and that's when they see a single eye reflecting light. To this day, they're not sure what was watching them. The thing is low to the ground, and I don't know if this is its whole body or just the head peeking around the corner. It doesn't move, which makes me wonder if they put it there, but it could have just been as surprised as they were. Ashton and Casey get out of there as fast as possible, but take a look at it again. What do you think they were running from? Not only do you have to worry about pyrotechnic incidents at work, you might have to worry about ghosts as well. YouTuber Joey Nike 12 posted this video of a store he claims is haunted in Kingsville. At the beginning of the video, he tells a coworker, "Let's go record that room," before heading to the haunted room in question. They set a video camera up to record the purportedly paranormal activity that occurs in this room. About 3 minutes into the footage, you can see a dustpan move ever so slightly, and then not ever so slightly. It falls over, and a moment later, the door next to it slams closed. The boys re-enter the room nonchalantly, not knowing the strangeness that has just occurred there, but after coming across this video that went too far, they may not want to enter this haunted storage room ever again. A YouTuber named BatBatBox and his friend are all geared up and ready to do some serious exploring down a drainage tunnel that runs deep beneath the streets in Norway. Recent rains raise the water up to their knees, and a storm surge could leave them over their heads in a moment's notice. Many small side passages tempt them, but the rising water makes it too risky. They soon reach an impasse in the form of a fallen tree that quickly brings their exploration to a close. But just as the two friends are having a quick conversation about what to do next, a third party joins in. Something calls from the other side of the clogged pipe, a weird noise in their words, but definitely a scared human voice in my opinion. It doesn't make any other noise or ask for help, and when they try to find the source, it's gone. The tunnel is empty except for them, or so they think. All they find is this weird, large glove with sharpened fingers left behind, an iron claw in their words, like something a madman would wear. And when the passage they were looking down earlier begins to churn out a murky gray substance, they get out of there quick before anything else gets a chance to appear. That's a lot of unexplained events that have happened in one tunnel. Mysteries I don't think they were ready to solve. Maybe they heard someone's last moments before being taken away down that small passage, and whatever was down there was probably coming for them next. A YouTube channel called Sailing Latitude is boating around the Italian island of Sardinia when a freak lightning storm breaks overnight, forcing them into survival mode. They try to outrun the storm at first, but the winds are much too strong and soon lightning is breaking directly overhead. Aside from getting zapped, a single bolt would be enough to fry their navigation equipment and leave them completely stranded at sea. The experienced navigator is able to visually estimate two areas where lightning is striking the most, and they sail between these two areas skillfully. In other words, they basically have no choice but to steer between two storms, and in doing so they almost get trapped in the storm multiple times, like here at 10 minutes and 15 seconds for example. To make matters worse, the winds could change at a moment's notice and bring the storm clouds even closer. Somehow they just barely managed to sail through the little pocket of clear weather, well flanked between two storms. Hours later, a calm sunrise greets them, as if it was all just a bad dream. Listen closely, you might not be hearing things. Posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit, the Redditor explains that she was home alone with her daughter, watching a kid's show when she heard an old man clearing his throat and speaking in the background of the video she was filming.
Come on.
Many others in the thread hear the voice too, with Redditor temperamental elements saying it sounds like the man says, "What?" The Redditor asks, "Do you have any male relatives that have passed? Maybe they're back to see your baby girl." Boss said that the child's great-grandpa had passed away a little over a year ago. Perhaps great-grandpa is reaching out. Should they reach back? J-Game has been having problems with a stalker lately who has been coming around his home dressed like a clown. He is pretty sure it is just some local high school students who watch his channel, but lately they've been growing bolder and now something new has pushed him to his absolute breaking point.
I'm scared to be in my own house like that. That's a problem. This is Max. This is Max.
One day, he returns home only to find a creepy letter inside of a tattered envelope with red stains all over. The outside says, "We followed you home," and the inside says that they are going to come for him at 2 o'clock. Instead of calling the police, J-Game decides to handle this problem himself. He keeps his camera rolling and waits at home all day for them to come over. Hours later, 2 loud bangs from outside send a jolt of adrenaline coursing through him. Instead of rushing out the door, he sneaks upstairs to get a better look at his adversary. He sees someone dressed like a clown with a scary mask and bright orange hair. The person doesn't look very large, maybe about the size of a high schooler, but it's the menacing posture combined with the baseball bat that keeps J-Game away. He waits a long time before going outside, where he finds the gate has been left wide open. It seems like they are gone for the time being, but who knows when they will be back again. Is this a goblin? An extraterrestrial, whatever it is, it's trending in the Brazilian YouTube community. Shared by YouTube channel EXTV, the video shows a gangly creature sitting dejectedly at the foot of stadium seating. It's hard to tell what this creature is, even more so after it looks up at us. Its glowing eyes and pointed ears do tell us one thing: it's not human. It moves to get up. And when it stands, you see just how gangly it is. Its long, thin limbs are barely able to lift its large, barrel-like body, but looks can be deceiving. On its feet, it turns out that it's quite nimble. That sound was terrifying. We can assume the cameraman lived to share this footage, but we can't assume he didn't pee his pants in the process. The footage looks real enough to be considered authentic. Even the creature's shadow seems to fall in accordance with all other shadows in frame, but this is, in fact, a production. I tracked down the original source, JJPD Producciones, which specializes in CGI. I'm happy to find that this creepy goblin doesn't exist in reality, at least I hope. Will and Weston have been seeing a strange man walking around their house for a few days now, and they are determined to get it on camera so that people will finally believe them. This time, when it comes around again, the two split up and start recording.
What was that?
Whoa!
Weston captures the giant dark outline of a man and goes off running to find Will. They both seem more excited than scared, which is strange, but I guess that could be a normal reaction considering they have seen this person for days and have not been harmed. This could definitely be someone messing with them, but there's something about the overall pace of the video that seems real. Here's another picture that Will caught to further verify the story. Whoever it is, hopefully they stay in the woods and comes no closer to their home. This live interview was taken somewhere in South America. Only when the footage was later zoomed in and enhanced were they able to discover something strange in the background.
Bueno, básicamente en eso hemos sido convocados para la realización del...
Bueno, básicamente en eso hemos sido convocados para la realización.
What looks to be some sort of extraterrestrial creature with arms that are as long as its legs can be seen casually walking towards them. Its motives are unknown, but it does not appear to be alarmed or threatening. If this isn't CGI, then this is certainly a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence captured live. I need to include this video because I've never come across a paranormal video before with such an even split between people saying that it's absolutely fake and so obviously real. Some people are certain that this is the legitimate ghost of a child, and others are sure that this is special effects, light reflections, and a plastic bag, and a host of other non-paranormal explanations. As for me, I think that I probably would have noticed something that large moving out of the corner of my eye, so I think it could be fake, but then again, I can't say for sure unless I was there myself. Maybe the camera recorded something that was not discernible by the naked eye. Published by Diane Frazier. This paranormal team spent some time with the Shadow Man. In their communication with him, he revealed he lost his wife and blamed himself for her passing, saying he felt like he had a hole in his heart.
How are you feeling about us coming here to talk to you? Does that make you happy?
Black.
The team captured 2 photographs which they have interpreted. This one is the Shadow Man, revealing the hole in his heart from losing his wife. The second, they believe, shows the couple reunited and entering into the beyond together. Are these interpretations correct? Did the Shadow Man and his beloved wife reunite? This is the story I want to believe, and to me, the photographs do look quite convincing. What do you think? Costa Rica is full of many beautiful sights. Under your pillow is not one of them.
Scorpion on my pillow.
Is it alive?
I'd say it's very much still alive. A gigantic stinger is curled high above at the ready. I don't know if he was sleeping under this terrifying creature all night, but I think he might have been. If so, he's really lucky he never fluffed the pillow. Seriously though, I really want to know what kind of scorpion this is, and how risky this event really was. In a creepy abandoned place, YouTuber Alberto Del Arco captures a passing ghost on camera. First, they hear a distant scream.
¿Oíste?
Como un grito de una niña.
Sí, sí, ¿lo oíste?
Un grito muy agudo.
Muy agudo, muy agudo.
Y se escuchó,
Sí.
Then they spy this dark figure at the end of a corridor.
Ay, güey.
While the figure is too far away and indistinct to definitely confirm that it's a ghost, you can see that it does move. Someone is there with them, ghost or living being. I wouldn't stick around to find out. There's a good reason why this creepy kid's bike has been relegated to the roof. It is only supposed to play this lullaby for a minute, but so far it's been a half hour and counting.
5:30 in India here, and this is so freaking haunted. Nope. Hey. No. Stop it.
The voice soon changes to a more sinister tone, and I think I can almost hear other voices coming out of it too.
I'm running away. What the hell is that? Oh my.
Have you ever seen something out of place reflected in the window? Posted to the Haunted subreddit by Please Recycle Those. This Redditor did, and he is wondering what these are. The Redditor explains in the comments that his dog heard a sound downstairs, so he followed the dog down with the camera rolling. As he is panning across a dining room area, when he captures his own reflection in the window. Panning past, something strange is reflected behind the cameraman in the window reflection. The Redditor is wondering if it's an arm. Some in the comments say it could be a ponytail, but the Redditor has short hair. Others think it's a fast-moving ghost or something leaving the scene. What do you think it is? Whatever it might be, it'll knock your socks off. A scary video from Albany looks like creepy things are about to happen at night, but when Mike Lice takes the camera to the window, you can see a big problem. It's the middle of the day, possibly the last for him and his family, as a terrible change looms in the sky. What happens next haunts them forever. At 9:16, a tree almost connects with the side of their house. The only thing that saved them were winds blowing slightly away from their home. When so much scary stuff happens to you at once, there really is only one reaction. I'm sure they were expecting to capture some scary moments on camera, but nothing like this. Almost losing your home, whether you actually did in the end or not, is one of the scariest things imaginable. This surveillance footage looks like it was taken on an academic campus of some sort. The security camera is glitching out and skipping frames, which is supposed to be a clear indication that Slenderman is near. Look closely here, and you can see a transparent figure in the upper left. Then, without warning, a tall figure is suddenly looming over a young boy. Slenderman yanks the boy high into the air by both arms, and then the video quickly cuts off. I notice in the bottom right corner that this camera was marked Camera 01, but I wasn't able to find footage from any of the other cameras. If somebody recognizes this location, then maybe we can do some more precise investigating and get to the bottom of this mysterious sighting. Shima Luen was once an illustrator who worked for the YouTube channel Danger Dolan. Her last video, which was uploaded over 2 years ago, has since left fans curious, worried, and upset at her unannounced disappearance. That's because the very last video ever made on her channel was celebrating the 50,000 subscriber mark, and it contained nothing but optimistic remarks about the future, like this one for example.
You guys have been asking me a lot of questions, and a lot of stuff that I can answer in the FAQ videos, which I know I'm behind on, but that's okay.
So it's obvious that, as of this final upload, Shima was still encouraging fans to interact with her, and appears to have every intention of continuing the channel. I personally have never seen a YouTube channel celebrate a milestone victory and then suddenly stop altogether, so I definitely find this turn of events to be odd. With that said, Danger Dolan's channel has since claimed to have contacted Shima, and claims that she's safe, but not all of her fans agree. Theories about an argument and potential foul play are circulating the internet, though I find all of them hard to believe since Shima is in the United States and Danger Dolan is all the way in Australia. The scenarios are mostly just speculation without much evidence in my opinion, but I'd like to get yours. This toy is apparently possessed by a spirit who wants to imitate whatever its living counterpart does. Here you can see the toddler sitting on a toy truck, so the spirit decides to do the same.
All around that toy. There it goes again, there it goes again. Yep, there it goes again, there it goes again.
Orbs dance all around the yellow toy truck as its wheels slowly creep forward, almost unnoticeable at times. At one point, a larger orb seems to trace the outline of the truck itself in a zigzagging pattern. And maybe it's just me, but it looks like the child notices something too. I'm pretty convinced that this is a real paranormal counterpart, but I'm definitely open to other logical explanations, so be sure to tell me what you think is happening here. One day, a YouTuber named Pedro Ruiz has an idea for the ultimate YouTube video.
The point of this video is, I really just want to see if a .50 caliber bullet can go through a book.
He convinces his girlfriend Mona Lisa to unload a firearm into his chest at point blank range while he holds nothing but an encyclopedia in front of himself for protection. Listen to the worried noise she makes here at the end of his request. Clearly, she doesn't think this is a good idea.
Let's do it.
Shortly after making this intro, Mona Lisa points at Pedro and hesitates. After being reassured numerous times by her boyfriend that he will be okay, she fires a round straight through the book, which then goes into Pedro's body. He perishes shortly thereafter. Mona Lisa was sentenced to 180 days in jail for making this video, but I want to hear your opinion as to whether this was a fair sentence or not. At times it seems as if she was clearly uncomfortable with doing this, and was almost forced to go along. According to YouTubers, most who've watched this video arrived there by typing in a random emoji into the search bar. That may be because the video shows a woman replacing her prosthetic eye. At the start of the video, the woman's eyes look nearly identical. The coloring is the exact same. In fact, I'd be surprised if you knew without reading the title that one of these eyes is fake, and I'd highly doubt that you could guess the real from the prosthetic. That's how good prosthetic eyes are in this day and age. But what happens next will make you question everything. The smiling woman holds open the bottom lid of her left eye, and after a little bit of finicking, the eye slides right out. All that remains is the eye socket. The woman then shows you her prosthetic, which is really just the front half of an eyeball. It is concave and empty behind. She replaces it in her eye by inserting it up behind her upper lid and then pulling her lower lid out to wrap around the bottom of the prosthetic. The eye is now back in place. She demonstrates its movement, and while it doesn't show as wide a range of circulation as a regular eye, it's certainly impressive what modern technology has done to improve visual prosthetics. If you ever find yourself in Moonville Tunnel in Ohio, you might want to tunnel your way out of there. This haunted railroad tunnel is home to legendary local ghosts. While visiting, this boy caught one on camera after finding a pentagram drawn into the dirt.
You can sort of see a pentagram there.
He waited in the darkness.
I'm hearing gunshots.
While the noises could be explained by the wind and the wilderness, what do you make of this? Watch the white space at the end of the tunnel closely.
Did you hear that? Something just hit the ground over there.
Do you see that? Here it is again, slower this time. The apparition looks like it's moving. It then disappears into the light. Another shot of the tunnel a moment later shows no figure around. But in my opinion, it could be the shadows of the trees or the brush to the right captured as the camera's lights adjusts. Watch as he zooms in again here.
Here's somebody with their dog.
It is strange though that the capture appears to be standing upright, and if it is just a shift while the camera's lights adjusts, why did it only capture this one distinct shape? Tell me what you think in the comments. This one has left me with more questions than answers. The Mulberry Rings in Dorchester, UK have a terrible history. YouTube team CVS Paranormal investigates this haunted place, and what they hear is disturbing.
We're not here to hurt you, we just want to communicate with you. You could do something.
To me, it sounded like a mix of voices and pigs grunting in the darkness. Shortly after, they hear footsteps in the grass nearby.
Oh, what? Sure.
Then this creepy moan is heard.
If you are walking, did you hear that?
As one of the team feels something touch her head, children's laughter is heard in the background.
It felt like something just touched my head.
They hear a rustling in the trees that they don't believe is the wind.
Like come from over there just now. In the trees. Are you over by the trees? Can you hear it?
It does look like there's a breeze though, and it could just be an animal settling, but this next noise does not sound natural.
What was that? I don't know.
And then again, they hear footsteps.
Yeah.
Is something stalking them in the darkness? The humming they hear suggests so.
Oh, it's really going now.
While I don't hear the humming sound in the end myself, I can hear all of the other unsettling noises in this clip. To me, the most disturbing part was the pig grunting and voices heard in the very beginning.
We're not here to hurt you, we just want to communicate with you. You could do something.
What do you think? This video, taken from a YouTuber named Finder Lurker, is from 2005. He is certain of a paranormal entity frequenting an area of the house that no one uses, so he sets up a camera and leaves. In the beginning of the video, you can see these two small eyes in the background, which is definitely weird, but it's nothing compared to what happens next. Arms appear from all sides, and then this head pokes out from around the corner. Its eyes white pinpricks of light and nothing more. One arm stays above them as if waving hello. It quickly disappears from wherever it came from, and then the camera begins to shake, eventually becoming dislodged and toppling over. It does feel a little too set up in my opinion, but whether all of this was an actual ghost or just some kids messing around is ultimately up to you to decide. It's midnight, everyone's asleep, except for this ghost, published by The Haunted One in August of 2020. This short clip shows a thirsty ghost having a nightcap. Watch closely as the bottle on the counter moves ever so slightly on its own. It slides from the middle of the island to the very edge. Is this ghost about to smash some glass, or is he just playing mind games? Either way, I definitely think this place is haunted. YouTuber Lance Stewart has always had his critics when it comes to his paranormal videos, but in this video, Lance doesn't claim he got possessed, but rather someone else who is just participating. They are doing a Ouija board challenge and actually managed to capture some interesting paranormal moments, most notably at the 8-minute and 42-second mark when the camera picks up an unknown voice saying, "Turn it off."
Is it "I love you"? Yes!
Is the ghost implying that it does not want to be filmed? Maybe this is a warning they should have heeded, because later in the day, well after they are done with the Ouija board, Lance finds his ex-girlfriend Lizzie acting very strangely. She's lying on the bed with her eyes rolled back, not saying a word. Lance sounds extremely concerned when she says it's just a prank. Do you think she was telling the truth, or did whatever possessed her just want to give Lance a false sense of security? Either way, this video should serve as an example of how you need to exercise massive caution when using a Ouija board.
So I'm hearing really weird noises outside, and I'm kind of freaked out because it's late and they're really weird.
A YouTuber named Shadow of Joey has been hearing some strange disturbances outside of his window and decides to make a quick video about it. He summons all of the courage in his body and makes himself open the window while recording. This bizarre 3-second sighting is what he finds. A shrill warning call fills the night as a dark figure scurries by his window on all fours. This could be some kind of wild creature, but the feet look to be in the shape of shoes. It's likely that this video is just a friend wearing all black clothing and covering their face. With that said, maybe it was somebody possessed, or even the rake taking on its human form. Shadow of Joey wisely decides not to pursue the creature to get more video evidence, so we may never know the real story for certain. On their last walk of the day, Redditor Gaddon420 and his dog heard something chilling in the woods. Listen closely. Let's hear it again. Many in the comments think it's a fox, others think it's a vixen, which according to one Redditor, sounds like someone having their life ended. After listening to recordings of fox screams, I'd have to agree, that is what a fox says. On January 8th, 2005, a professional diver named David Shaw was on an extraction mission to recover a missing individual named Dion Dreyer. David, having won numerous diving records in his career, many of them going great depths into caves, was confident in his abilities to locate this person. He was also with a team to help ensure his further safety. They run a line down the cave to help themselves move along and keep from straying too far and getting lost. There's very little light down here. The line leads to Dion. At 3 minutes, they pass over this deflated dolphin that was on Dion's vessel as a joke. Now it's on the bottom of the sea cave floor. He is walking along the bottom and soon becomes hopelessly tangled in the line. He pulls and pulls, hoping to find a good place to cut, but his movements become slower as his oxygen runs out.
Okay, there he goes, he's moving on again. Now, he's breathing very hard.
I won't show the end, but sadly he did not make it out of the cave and passed in the darkness next to Dion. Let's never forget his valiant final dive and take a moment to recognize his bravery. It was his 333rd dive. Perks is exploring an old, overgrown estate that's rumored to have a long history full of bad events and cursed memories. The manor itself seems to be in early stages of decay, and judging by these mattresses in the living room, looks to have been taken over by strangers. The house is definitely creepy, but nothing really feels out of place until Perks heads down into the basement. He can't quite explain how he knows it, but he can sense an evil presence down here, something that has not been disturbed in a long time. That's when he finds it lying in the corner of an especially unwelcoming part of the basement. If an expert could please verify, we could solve a potentially horrifying scene. This video was supposedly caught on a home resident security system. All of the rooms look normal until this possessed stuffed animal suddenly springs to life. I thought I could see a string at first, but it's clearly a cord that's plugged into the wall. On the other hand, this doesn't really look like actual CCTV footage at all, so maybe it's just a prank. After experiencing loads of paranormal activity in their home, Redditor As Crumner's son set up a camera to record through the night, and they finally caught something. A strange pillow creature moves rather clumsily near the son's bed at night.
Right here.
Okay, whoop. Rewind it. Bring that back, and then
see, it just whoops right up. Ready? Watch right here, watch right here.
Whoa,
So
that's already creepy.
Yeah, so there I am.
That's
right
already
there.
creepy.
I'm right there.
And then it leaves as mysteriously as it came.
Ready? And then it just goes like...
It yeets
Ready?
back out of existence.
There's my head right there. You can see me moving. And as soon as I
Yeets
moved...
back down.
Did you see how as soon as I moved... As soon as I moved...
Looks like it's leaning in towards you.
Unless that's not
Jesus.
a blanket.
What
is that? Like
is
its
this?
skin?
It's hard to tell on the recording what the figure might be. I personally think it looks like a pillow or a blanket, but its behavior is odd to me. Of course, Reddit has fun with this one. I'm not 100% sold on the figure being a skinwalker, as I think there's a chance it could be either a leg or someone under the duvet, and if someone's creeping through the house dressed in blankets, then these guys have got more than paranormal problems to worry about. During a mid-morning flight from Canada over the Appalachian Mountains in October of 2010, this passenger captured something mysterious from the air. Watch carefully. Can you see the reflections of light in the clouds? There also appears to be a disc-like shape that emerges from the clouds at the lower half of the screen. Watch again closely. Is this a genuine, unidentified flying object caught on camera? If not, what do you think this could possibly be? This video was taken near the Pearl Tower in Shanghai, China. The forecast is clearly cloudy and thunder can be heard in the distance. It appears people began recording when they saw someone who appears to be levitating or hanging off the tower. Suddenly, there's a surge of lightning, and it appears this person acts as a lightning rod because he's shocked numerous times by the lightning. But the man is fine and stays suspended in midair. I couldn't find any additional information on the incident, so it appears we'll never know what happened to this individual beyond the recording of this video. If this video is real. Nathan, Tubular Life, lives in a remote mountain location and has never revealed his home address. This still doesn't stop someone from apparently figuring out where he lives and paying him a visit. Nathan wasn't home at the time, so they decide to leave a really creepy note for him to come back to. The person leaves their personal cell phone number with instructions to call. Just the fact that they were essentially tracking Nathan down makes this note come off as aggressive and weird. I think it would be really interesting if someone could analyze the handwriting and tell me more about this potential stalker's personality. Later, Nathan musters up the courage to make contact with his fan, and the conversation is about as eerie as you'd expect.
I'm watching you right now. Bro, I've been watching you for like the past 2 weeks. I'm in the tree right beside your room. I'm waiting.
Nathan looks around, but ultimately he doesn't see anyone else. They probably were not nearby because they could have made a noise if they really wanted Nathan to see where they were. I think this probably is just one of his friends, or else some random weirdo messing with his head. Then again, a short while later, he sees a black SUV speeding away that he has never seen before. So maybe someone really was watching his every move from a distance. Strange and mysterious activity was caught on a home security camera when an orb of light spills into 3 different directions and promptly disappears, soon materializing into a stranger who crosses onto their property while in a transparent state. The home CCTV system has multiple cameras, and for 2 minutes they watch the stranger mysteriously disappear and come back numerous times. At 37 seconds, when it looks like it's gone, they zoom in to find a large orb with smaller orbs mysteriously floating away. Soon, the see-through outline of the stranger is caught on camera once again. According to the description of this creepy video, the human-like apparition appears to be walking down some train tracks, possibly haunting the very same place where his life was lost. After a while, the figure crosses their security camera, its lights go out, and the family has a fearful reaction as it disappears from sight once and for all. I think this could be a real ghost video and not a glitch because it never freezes, compresses, or shows any obvious visual artifacts. This video is simply called Path of the Banshee. A man is walking all by himself down a bleak path with rows of trees reaching out for him from both sides. He spots something in the distance and freezes. Some people claim that the scream is fake and edited in. Even so, plenty of people say that they can see a figure in white robes in the distance. Do you see anything like that when he zooms in? Also, if you can identify if that scream is from a video game or a movie or something, then please let me know. Maybe together we can prove if this video is fake or real once and for all. This abandoned prison castle was built in 1865 and was used to house all types of scary people. It was a transitory prison before sending prisoners to hard labor or exile. Now it apparently houses actual ghosts. Published by Toppy in November of 2021, these paranormal investigators went to visit the dark and mysterious place. Here is what they found. Outside, they walk around the wall where lives were ended. Then they head inside. The investigator notes that they say they've heard some coughing. Inside the cells, they listen but hear nothing. They come across strange windows, perhaps built for ventilation, lockable slots, likely to deliver food to the inmates, and a shower room. In one hallway, they find this figure, posed like a statue. We aren't sure what its story is, but it towers over the place like it's floating. At one point, a strange, unexplained noise is recorded as they're talking, and another sound is heard, like blowing on metal. They also hear a door bang at a distance. They say they feel like they're not alone here. Perhaps they aren't, but is their company alive or paranormal? This video, posted by a man in the Moroccan city of Marrakesh, claims to be targeted by locals after converting to beliefs that's unpopular in the area. Men with their faces covered visit their house with a red canister filled with what I presume is gasoline and threaten to burn the place down. They seem genuinely ready to rip the door down and tear this family apart, especially when they pull out a huge blade and throw it at the door in a display of disgust. Here's the twist. According to a local news source in the area, the video is staged and was made by a family seeking asylum in America. Their anger is quite convincing, and the family really does look scared. So I want your opinion on if you think this is a performance or really a family in distress. A bizarre dashcam video has caught some weird moments on the highway in Puerto Rico. This driver has their door open while going full speed. It looks like they've somehow forgotten to close it until 22 seconds when a hand reaches over to make sure it doesn't fly all the way open during a turn. I guess the door was broken or something, in which case they really should pull over because that is incredibly unsafe. Hopefully they never have to make a sharp turn or else somebody is spilling out onto the road. This bike rider is about to get ghosted. Published by Scary Desk in February of 2022, a man on a motorbike stops in the middle of the road and he's looking down the street at something. A pedestrian also stops nearby and he seems to be looking at the same thing, which so far is off screen. After the pedestrian leaves, we see this. A shadow figure walks determinedly at the dude on the motorbike. As he gets closer, he disappears for a moment, but the man deliberately pushes his bike over as if to make a blockade between them and then runs off. The shadow figure suddenly reappears, and he surprisingly runs off too in the opposite direction. What is going on with this confrontation? It looks like the shadow was as afraid of the encounter as these guys were. This one's a real head scratcher. This Redditor shared this video of a USB cable with a life of its own. Let's take a look. Let's see it again, slower this time. The cord is still for about 20 seconds and then becomes active again. If you zoom in on the cable, it does look like there's something attached to it about 2 inches below the head. But you can't see the string, so I'm hesitant to say that's not just a reflection of light on the cord at certain angles. I can't offer a resounding verdict on this one. What do you think it is? When you visit an abandoned hospital, you don't expect this to happen. Redditor Bored Guy Online posted this scary video evidence that he captured in the ICU. Keep an eye at the end of the hall to the right. Something mysterious is going on here. Being that all hospitals are likely haunted, maybe these doors aren't malfunctioning after all. If that's the case though, who is opening and closing this ICU door? He can see us, but we can't see him. I think it's time to leave this abandoned hospital and stay far away. You wouldn't want anything following you home now. You might want to rethink booking that Airbnb after seeing this scary video posted to the r/ghosts subreddit by Lemonisa. The Redditor writes that spooky sounds during the first night in this rental home in Norway kept waking her and her partner. This prompted her to start recording. This is what she captured. In an upper slanted window facing the living room, a mysterious white anomaly appears. After a moment, the anomaly slowly fades away before completely vanishing. It's not clear if the figure is beyond the window looking in, or something inside the house is being reflected. Some in the comments think it looks extraterrestrial. Others say it looks like a face or hand pressed against the glass. The Redditor mentions in the comments that this house was haunted. She says that they'd be sitting in the living room and would hear random things fall from the counter and strange noises from the basement. She notes that this first night in the home was especially creepy. Would you have the courage to remain a second night in the house if you saw this in the window? I sure wouldn't. A YouTuber named Combo Hugs notices a burly man acting very out of place in his apartment complex. For starters, he is peeking from around a corner and behind a bush with his phone.
Look at him. He's been sitting there taking pictures with his phone and watching people at the pool since like 10 minutes ago when I was walking my dog.
According to Combo Hugs, the man would act like he was busy on his phone whenever someone walked by, only to resume his photographic activities once they'd passed a safe distance. I will say that I did notice some small children in this video, which is why I'm glad Combo Hugs called the police and alerted the apartment manager shortly after recording this as evidence. A ghost hunter named Zaphod Bebley Brox is at the Hill House Manor in Gainesville, Texas. When they get activity on their equipment, the rules of communication are 1 blink for yes and 2 blinks for no, but this spirit presses no many times over when asked if it is an older man.
Are you the male that just came back in here?
No, it's a little girl.
His partner thinks it must be one of the 2 children spirits known to roam this floor, and when they ask if it wants to play, first he uses the equipment to say no, and then he uses its actual voice. It even answers like a child, waiting until the adult says no before repeating him in a small sad voice.
Are you the little girl? Would you like to play jacks? Can you say yes or no? Huh? No?
Judging by how she is in no mood to play, I'd say something bad must have happened to them, something that's keeping them trapped with no release forever. This strange deer keeps repeatedly wandering into the yard of a YouTuber named Free Tickies. It seems to be without a herd, so at first Free Tickies suspects that it could be someone's pet, which is not all that uncommon of an occurrence where he lives in Kentucky. After a minute or so, it becomes evident that this deer is sick with something quite serious. Watch here and you'll see how the deer looks disoriented enough to walk up to another neighbor's house. I have little doubt that it would have wandered straight through the front door if it was open, potentially contaminating the entire inside. The YouTuber says that he called the local wildlife authorities and reported the deer shortly after recording this 2-minute video. I think he keeps a respectful distance for the most part, and appears to be safe from any potential contamination. As for the deer, it sadly had to be put down by government officials after it kept walking onto the nearby Route 8 highway. You may remember me talking about D-Menace in a previous video, but I wanted to give this video a further analysis. To describe D-Menace in short terms, the best would probably be Adrenaline Junkie. First appearing on YouTube in 2018, he has posted a variety of videos from conducting one-breath dives to venturing deep into tight caves. His videos are not for the faint of heart and can distress people with the feats he conducts. He has also posted several urban exploration videos. In June 2020, D ventured into an abandoned malt factory complex with several buildings to explore. All alone, he traveled through the dark and derelict halls. For the first half of the video, nothing particularly strange happens. D ventures through the various passages and even into the basement, finding strange and even beautiful graffiti on the walls. As he approaches the stairs to the basement, he feels apprehension as, in his words, the walls and ceiling begin to resemble the altered state of Silent Hill when it transitions to Otherworld.
I think I reached a really dangerous and scary part here because it's starting to feel and look exactly like in Silent Hill.
After some time, he decides to continue down the depths. Here, he finds a red bed or chair, something that gives him the creeps. Written on it in German is, "Raise your legs and chill." He continues to explore the basement, but is in a constant state of discomfort from the darkness and his mind playing tricks on him. Therefore, he decides to head back upstairs. He then states part of what creeps him out about this place is the lack of wildlife residing in the building. Unlike other places he's explored, he hasn't seen a single bird or rodent since arriving. As he makes his way into the second part of the complex, he begins to feel more anxious, hearing noises around him. He admits he is unaware if it is because he is simply spooked or if there's another person inside with him. Not long after making this statement, D discovers he is, in fact, not alone in the complex. As he is showing the view out the window, a man suddenly and casually walks out from the trees. Completely oblivious, D sees and is recording him. The man walks calmly to the same building D is in, but D is clearly nervous and says he hopes the man does not have ill intent. He then hears the man speaking, but it is unknown to whom. After, D becomes quiet, listening and acting increasingly anxious. Soon he enters a similar room to where he first saw the man walking up and is startled to see a pair of legs on the other side of a hole in the wall. He quickly quiets down and kneels, but realizes the man must have heard him as the legs retreat in the opposite direction. Realizing the risk of this situation, he decides to try and exit the building. However, as he approaches a corner, the man emerges and pushes D to the ground. After some exchanged words, the two men calm down and discover it was a simple misunderstanding. The other individual, named Jonathan, is just another urban explorer who is also unsure of D's intentions. Luckily this time, for both men, neither were there for anything bad and were just wanting to check the place out. D's video is a wake-up call for anyone intending to do their own exploration or even ghost hunts. Abandoned buildings pose all sorts of hazards, mostly from the decaying condition of the structures posing physical hazards. What is often overlooked is the possibility of others in the building who could potentially be living there or committing unsavory deeds away from prying eyes. Both D and Jonathan were justified in their suspicion of each other, and on this occasion were able to laugh it off and even continue to explore the building together. It is likely this made the adventure safe, as the two would now be able to look out for one another in case an accident occurred. It goes as a reminder to how the paranormal is not the only thing to be afraid of on these tours. D was definitely thanking his lucky stars he stumbled across Jonathan, as both explorers decided to head into the basement, as D felt it was better to have company. Down there they find spray cans, a piece of a bicycle body, and a package. However, down a deep corridor, D finds a bone. While it could be misinterpreted for human, Jonathan points out it doesn't appear to be. On analysis, it more so resembles one someone would give their dog to chew on. Regardless, Dee decides to leave the bone there. Certainly an adrenaline-inducing adventure this time, and thankfully Dee made a new friend to explore with. Still goes to show how careful one must be about the place they explore, as well as who might be in it. Real Victoria is woken up by her cat hissing at something it sees in the bedroom window. The cat goes quiet when she starts recording, but it's definitely focused on some activity outside. She says this creepy looking character was looking in through her window, and he very well may have been, but at 4 seconds he also seems to be looking up and trying to get the attention of someone in the room above him. In fact, I think I hear him shout something and whistle loudly at the beginning of this video. What is he saying here? Eventually, he steps away and out of sight. I guess he either saw the camera, or he finally got the attention of someone in the unit above. Whatever he was up to, having a complete stranger anywhere near where you live at 5 in the morning is oddly terrifying. With that said, I do believe her, and I hope Real Victoria stays safe until her lease is up and she can get out of there. Julius Kitty has a child who won't stop looking up at the same spot on the ceiling and laughing for no apparent reason. It's almost as if someone or something is putting on a little show just for her, but clearly nothing is up there. After giggling for quite some time, the child suddenly grows silent and leaves the room while still looking up.
Oh, are they leaving? You're following them, huh?
The toddler follows whatever it is back into the room and tries to get his parents to see what she's looking at by pointing. Then she goes back over to the same spot and reaches up at the ceiling again. This time it's almost like she wants to be picked up by whatever it is that she sees.
Oh my gosh. You're creeping me out.
If this is a spirit, then whatever form it's taking does not appear to upset the child. If anything, the toddler seems fascinated with its presence and wants to get a closer look. Let me know what you think this was, and if it is paranormal, tell me if you think this is a good spirit, maybe even that of a relative, or a bad one who is trying to gain the trust of a child. Posted in March of 2020 by YouTuber Steve Ronan, he explores what he describes as an old church that's been around for 100 years, with power still on and with rumors of rituals still being performed there. Accompanied by paranormal investigator Andrew, Steve and his team set out to explore this temple, which Andrew claims holds dark rituals inside. It's no great surprise then that demons supposedly haunt the place. They arrive on the scene of a truly spooky abandoned place at night, a cemetery surrounding it, overgrown with foliage. Inside the place, there's a door that leads beneath it, which reminds Steve of an abandoned place he previously explored with a tomb below. Opening the door, there appears to be firewood and mason jars down there. As they continue to explore, is in the temple, is that an overhanging light starts swinging. Supposedly no one touched it. They start to hear noises.
Yeah, you were with us. Did you just hear that? Bro, hello? Did you guys hear that?
A scream that sounds like a little girl, a sound from the light which Steve describes like a spine cracking.
Whoa. Scream! That was like a little girl, bro. Bro, the lights is moving back again. Well, it just went. You didn't hear that? Yeah, the light just went. It sounded like a spine cracking.
They consider exploring the room below, but a load of spiders prevents them. As they continue around the temple, on the ground they find a pile of burnt books and some cards laid out. 666. Another 6 is placed above, though Steve is unsure what it all means. As Andrew is messing about with an AM/FM radio, Steve feels something on his back. He says he feels like there's a spider there. He removes his coat so that Andrew can check it out. There is no spider, but 2 red marks streak across his back. The pair of scratches run from top to bottom, as if he's been branded. Steve says it burns, and also denies having scratched it on anything. They wonder if it's a Trinity mark. Some in the comments of this video suggest that he accidentally scratched himself when climbing under the chapel. Others think that it looks like 2 lashes from a whip. Brooklyn Girl 230, however, offers advice. Those mysterious scratches are a warning to you to stay far away from these places. Seems like the smartest conclusion to draw here. A YouTuber named Maximus and his friends are playing with a Ouija board in the shed. At first, they can't stop goofing around for long enough to take it seriously, but as time goes on, they start to concentrate more on the board and less on making jokes.
Are you there?
Maybe lift your arms up.
Why?
Cause it.
What?
Yo, what?
No, that was you. Is that not you? No.
They laugh wildly to cover up the mounting tension as they realize a ghost might actually be near. Unlike most of the videos, nothing happens for a long time, and the pointer stays completely still. They go back to making sarcastic jokes until another event gives them pause.
Are you standing next to Frank Tilton?
Are you Frank Tilton?
When was he born?
Stop playing. Stop.
Oh my god, no way! That actually like fell!
They are still acting like they don't care very much, but they decide to leave the shed just in case something is watching them. There's something about this video and their excitedly skeptical reactions that seems very genuine to me. A YouTuber named King Fresh is hanging out with his crew at a wild and crazy underground car rally. Burnouts and donuts fill the parking lot for a long time until it gets late and most of the drivers go home. Those who remain have more space to do even crazier maneuvers than ever before. Still, none of them could have been prepared for what this sports car does next.
Oh, we got a Mustang right here in the wild. What do you guys think? You like it or no? Oh!
A Mustang trudges straight towards the small group for no real reason other than to show off. I think they might lose control though, because at 8 minutes and 5 seconds you can see it was about to plow straight into King Fresh. The headlights are pointed straight at him and he barely steps out of the way. The team from Extinct File believes they were confronted by a demon who is pretending to be a priest. As they're first exploring the haunted place, they get an eerie vibe right away. When they ask the spirit what to do, it provides a resounding answer.
Dígame lo que quiera decirme.
As he prays and then starts to hear noises, he realizes something else is there. Later, they're explaining what happened when they hear the noise again.
Mira a la derecha. Eso fue aquí. Eso fue aquí, güey. Espérate, no. No, quédate aquí conmigo, güey.
The demon doesn't let up. Then when they're about to leave, this happens.
Oh, mi luz se me está queriendo apagar. ¿Qué? ¿Qué pasó? No mames, cámara 2. Está sangrando, güey. A ver, ¿qué?
What caused this crew's member's nosebleed? I'd say it's all too obvious. It was definitely that grunting demon, and who knows if it's finished with them. Mocha Vids and his friends are making a random YouTube video late at night when a lone stranger starts walking close behind.
Dude, there's like a creeper following us.
After a while, they turn around only to find the man briskly gaining on them. Mocha Vids quickly considers his options and ultimately decides not to confront the person.
You guys wanna run?
Should we run?
Oh, just missed the house down, dude.
The audio gets real choppy during this next part, but I think they are basically saying that the man is darting between houses and acting really weird.
Oh, just missed the house down, dude. He went on the side.
Seconds later, he apparently charges at them.
Oh shit.
It's hard to say if the danger presented in this video is real or dramatized. You never actually see the person run at them, but at the same time that also kind of makes the video more realistic because they are too busy getting away to catch anything. Either way, they manage to run back home and the incident is soon forgotten. Let me know if you think they really were being chased or not based on what you've seen here. This video could be someone talking gibberish in their sleep, or it could be a possession, as uploader JRon2 seems to think. Listen to this part and tell me if you think she could be speaking an ancient language.
She thinks Antarctica entrance.
Oh yeah? What does that mean?
One person in the comments section for this video thinks she might be saying something like, on the other side of the gods in Old Latin, whatever that means. If a second person could verify that this was what she said, then maybe we would know if she was possessed or just mumbling. Okay, so this isn't a video per se, but it was too eerie to pass up. This was recorded around 10 years ago in a home in Philadelphia. The family kept hearing noises coming from the basement, so they decided to hire a paranormal team who placed a recorder down there and waited. Nothing happened for 3 days, and then at 3:12 a.m. they recorded this. The horrible recording continues to go on and on, seemingly forever. No video evidence was ever produced, but these possibly paranormal screams will continue to live on YouTube for years to come. These contractors find themselves stuck on a roof after their ladder collapses, leaving them stranded 14 feet in the air with no way down. Soon they improvise a safety harness that looks to be little more than some cords haphazardly knotted together. I really doubt this design would realistically hold his weight, but let me know what you think. They are trying to figure out what to do next when they see something in the distance. Watch his feet closely and tell me if he looks like he almost loses his balance at the end.
There's a car! Come on! Hey! Hey!
He carefully lowers himself to the bottom and manages not to break the harness. The harness appears to be very loose at the end and could have come undone at any second. They show the drop at the end and it definitely looks like they were high up enough to cause some serious damage. The Three Haunted Explorers is the name of a paranormal YouTube channel that doesn't need to go exploring very far to find something spooky. That's because a scary ghost is already haunting their room, or so they claim, and this is the best paranormal evidence they've caught on camera so far. They set up a night vision camera. Soon they've caught the ghost moving stuff like cabinet drawers. Part of the drawers aren't shown, so the ghost hunters might be moving it off camera. But just when I was starting to doubt whether this scary video was real, more objects begin moving on their own. On a table behind them, caught on camera is the reflection of a possible ghost moving across the surface. They put everything back in place and wait. That's when the ghost knocks all of the objects over once again by moving a chair. The swivel chair continues to move on its own as if a ghost is pushing it. At 33 seconds, a mysterious shadow even walks in front of the camera. A ghost. The paranormal explorers would later say, although it could have belonged to them. Stuff keeps falling over by itself, which is creepy, but they could be crawling across the floor to fake the paranormal activity. I hope they make more creepy follow-up videos from a better angle to show us more of the room when it happens. This footage is terrifying to any cyclist on the road. Published in April of 2022, Cycling Mikey writes, "The footage was given to me by a subscriber who asked me to make the video available. In case anyone knows this man and is willing to give his details." He had videoed the driver using his mobile phone, and the driver took exception to that. Captured at around 10:30 p.m. in July of 2021, the footage shows a cyclist riding as fast as he can from the car in question. He is calling out to any passers-by to call the police.
Help me! Call the police! Call the police! Help me! Help me!
The car is clearly chasing him. It even drives up on the sidewalk at one point as the cyclist tries to escape. The cyclist luckily eventually loses the driver, pulls into a driveway and drops his bike to the ground. Commenters call this outrageous and criminal behavior. Well, at least one commenter was able to capture the license plate number. Was it enough to find the culprit, or does he have dodgy plates? Sadly, I was never able to find out. Have you ever had a stalker? YouTuber Kev from Crypto NWO has, and his stalker just took it to the next level by sending him a thumb drive. There are some strange pics on it and some video files. Let's take a look. Security footage captures the stalker peering into the YouTuber's home. Kev is setting up a camera inside. A second piece of security footage captures the stalker approaching the house and ringing the doorbell.
Dude was already gone. Look where he runs. I didn't check the way he ran, but I looked at the footage afterwards. So, knocking on my door right now. By the way, I haven't seen any videos or anything. Okay, he recorded my door, he ran off.
He hears a knock at the door.
My door's gonna open, there, boom, I open my door. Nobody's at my door, and I'm like, what the I'm tripping out right now. I'm actually thinking, is this, like, are these kids doing this, or is this, like, the entire stalker situation?
And then he heads outside to check it out.
I don't know why my camera didn't catch me walking out the front door. I'm looking, I can't see. I'm looking down my street towards the left of my street. I'm looking to the right of my street now. Pulling out my phone.
Kev is then seen looking for the perp down the street.
Yeah, dude, I'm tripping out right now. I'm looking down my street. I saw somebody walking, but they had their dog with them. And it was like a teenager, so I'm thinking maybe it's that person. But at the same time, I'm tripping the right now because this person cut.
After Kev re-enters his home, a car is seen in the distance driving in the other direction.
My cameras are glitching like crazy. Open the door. I close it. Car's driving this way.
What is the stalker? A second video captures what appears to be the same guy doing this again.
Another one here. But dude, coming up to my camera, there was a flashlight on his phone. I hope he's not recording a video. Runs, sprints this time. This time he didn't even hold back. Ran, same place, same direction. Didn't even hold back.
Kev heads outside again to look around.
2, 1, now. I have a baseball bat in my hand. I'm tripping out. I'm actually tripping out. I'm trying to act tough here, but I'm actually shaking. I'm really, really scared. It's actually relatively cold this time of the year.
Of course, he finds no one. What do you think this stalker is trying to achieve by this? Knocking on his door again and again. I think he is trying to build up Kevin's fear, a fear of the unknown, and it seems like he's succeeding. While exploring a haunted location in Orlando, Redditor Callie 1939 captured this on SLS video. Watch closely. Later, as they walked past that same area, many in the comments think the Connect is simply picking up 2 gravestones, which is why it jumped to the next 2 gravestones, making it look like the figure was walking away from them. I tend to agree, but it is curious that the EM detector went off in the same location. What do you think? YouTuber Dennis of Dark Life is at it again with this video of paranormal activity in a haunted home. As he's describing what he witnessed in the home when the cameras were off, something happens while they're on.
Вот, здесь будто бы шевелилась мебель. Ну, перед...
Later, as he's speaking with the spirits, things light up.
Ай-яй-яй!
For some reason, Dennis sticks around, only to witness this. Here it is from another angle. Later, he sees something in the corner.
Не знаю, камера это увидела. Вот сейчас убираю свет. Когда убирал свет, здесь что-то светилось в том углу.
Here it is again. Is this figure what has been causing all this mayhem? I think it might be. There are demons here, and Dennis shouldn't stay around too long, lest they get attached. A Texas A&M University student in Corpus Christi, who goes by the name of Fifferty-Sore, has been hearing noises in his dorm room for quite some time. What began as an occasional knocking noise now, months into the semester, has developed into persistent paranormal sounds, stuff like footsteps coming from an empty room. This red line at 15 seconds is where the far wall is, so like I said, no one is in there, except for a poltergeist. No one could have lifted this mattress, because the room is too small for anyone to hide. Next to the mattress is a closet that's empty, and that's it, nothing else. Now the bathroom door opens and closes, yet he finds no one inside of the tiny space either, and this area is even smaller than the room before. In all fairness, there are 2 seconds of darkness from 46 seconds to 48 seconds that I guess could mark a spot where he might have stopped recording, let someone out of the bathroom, and then started recording again to make it look empty. I didn't see any such transition in the first room with the mattress, so my gut instinct says this event is real. A YouTuber named Leviathan is on a hiking trip when he hears strange noises in the distance. Just when he seriously suspects that he's not alone in the woods, a series of large footprints confirms his suspicions. He now fears for his safety and has already decided to leave when he hears the same noises again, much closer now than before. The predatory call encourages him to make a quick retreat back to civilization. Leviathan still has no idea what was making this noise or exactly how large it was when a drone drifted over the residential area in Overland Park. 2 boys on bikes spotted it overhead, and that's when they jumped off their bikes to have a go at it. You can see one of the kids pick up something, which is presumably a rock, in order to ready aim and fire at the drone, but it's much too high to actually knock it down. The kids follow it for a while, but don't come close enough to truly threaten it, although they do make a valiant effort to do so, chucking a rock or 2 its way. Eventually they give up, but the drone doesn't. It continues to follow them for a good 8 minutes, with the boys getting fed up enough every now and then to stop and throw more rocks. Certainly a scary encounter for both parties involved. A YouTuber named Outdoors with Eric patrols his property at night because he suspects a mysterious creature in the woods. It's a scary exploration in a creepy location for sure, but Eric wants to get as much evidence on camera as he can, so he keeps his fear in check and marches forward. At 1 minute and 43 seconds, he hears some really scary noises coming from the woods. I don't know what kind of creature would be up late at night screaming in the darkness. What does it sound like to you?
Hear that?
He walks for another minute until the scary noises give him pause again, much louder and closer this time.
Man, you guys hear that?
He feels watched and zooms in close with his night vision camera. You can barely make out the shape of a creature at first, so let me point it out for you.
That is bizarre.
When he plays with the setting, he gets a much better sighting on the creature, and soon discovers there are 2 of them across the stream.
They're coming closer. Yeah.
2 dots in the distance mark where he thinks they are. The screaming creatures of the night. No doubt they are real and so are the scary noises, but the real question is, what are they? If you're out paddleboarding, watch your sea legs. Published in April of 2022, YBS Youngbloods writes, a humbling reminder for myself that it's their ocean and I'm just a visitor. The paddleboarder is at first enamored with a giant sea turtle.
Turtle, big turtle. I'm right in the thick of it. Oh no! Oh!
But soon that excitement turns to panic. A huge shark is seen making his way over and passes below the man's board. When the shark does this, the last place you'd want to be right now is in the water.
Between the tiger and the turtle.
While many in the comments are panicking, commenter Jethro X has a different perspective. He writes, for anyone wondering, this is just how we have fun in Australia. A famous Malaysian YouTuber caught some supremely scary moments on live stream that have left him and all of his followers really freaking out. It's just another normal night at his house, spending time with roommates, when they get an idea to see who is the bravest. They've been suspecting their house was haunted for a long time and dare each other to go room to room with the lights off. The first 2 rooms are fine, but just when it looks like this was all for nothing, some scary things are caught on camera. Standing in the corner of the room is a silent spirit that Malaysian culture refers to as a pokong. A sighting of one of these spirits can be seen as a cry for help. They need to have someone undo their shroud so within 40 days, they can be freed from this world. With that in mind, I really don't blame him from running away instead of running forward. I don't think I would have the courage to undo its binds and withstand the rotten figure beneath. Seeing one in their own home must have been terrifying. 2 workout partners are busy burning calories in an unfinished basement gym when they suddenly realize a 3rd spotter is watching over them.
3, 4. Jay, get down. Just get down, get down, get out.
The woman doesn't seem to notice at first, as a piece of gym equipment on a chain slowly starts to rise on its own. It twists a little and then quickly rises high into the air. Notice how it drops when she runs away. I personally am not sure if this clip is real. I can see that there is a space between the drywall and ceiling, so someone could be on the other side of the wall pulling a string tied to a chain. If this is real, one thing I don't understand is why he would stop filming. Such a strange phenomenon as soon as it starts to happen. Then again, maybe panic took over and they ran away, or maybe he kept recording for a while and the gym equipment never moved again. Mr. Fitry is exploring the haunted PLKN building, a youth program in Malaysia that's said to be haunted ever since a mysterious case of mass food sickness led to the abandonment of the whole program. He's caught some creepy moments 17 minutes into the live stream when someone donates.
Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, subhanallah, subhanallah, Allah Akbar.
His camera freezes and the image whitens as something passes by.
Kun fayakun. Allah Akbar! Akbar! Ya Allah, subhanallah. Subhanallah, ya Allah. Allah Akbar, bergerak sini.
The only time his camera seems to freeze is when paranormal activity is happening in front of him.
Allah Akbar! Wais! Allah Akbar, apa benda tu? Ya Allah! Wais!
He runs into the room it was literally just in and the ghost is gone. There's no jump cut editing and this was on live stream, so the figure should have still been there if it was a person. He stands outside of the window to see if it will return.
Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar, subhanallah, subhanallah. Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, wais! Allah Akbar! Wai gila sial!
The figure is in the next room. Now is the chance for a paranormal encounter up close.
Wait! Wait! Ya Allah, Tuhanku. Hati aku.
By the time he gets back, he needs to lay down and think about what he just saw. Apparently being surrounded by that much paranormal energy has drained all of his. Being possessed by shadowy forces without even knowing it. Posted on Blah Blah's channel in January of 2022. This scary video is trending in the Arabic-speaking YouTube community. The footage shows a woman walking a dirt path along a hillside overlooking a city. She is carrying a bag and she's alone. As the cameraman follows a short way behind, a mysterious and barely visible dark figure comes toward the woman on the path. The shadow figure runs right at the woman, but she doesn't notice it and continues on her way. Did the spirit possess her? Well, this captured our imaginations. As it turns out, after doing some research, I found the video is VFX produced by YouTuber Dark3. Still, the image will prompt you to look over your shoulder the next time you think you're alone. You never know what's behind you until it's too late. Thank you so much for getting me to 50,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 60,000 subscribers next. Thank you.